Hey, welcome back to Meshball Grid. My name is Andre. How's it going? It is the 10th of May. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. She's a huge fan of the channel. How's everyone doing? Yo, Patrick, what's up? Hey, Andre, how you doing? There's like a ton of Netrunner happening this weekend between Iberian Lockdown and Barcelona SC. Yeah, I just saw on Twitch that the Barcelona Store Championship is going on right now. Don't know how far they are in on it, but that looks really cool. Vesper is streaming that, I'm pretty sure. If you want to check that out, Jessica, Sunday stream, how you doing? Happy Sunday to you. I got out of bed and had breakfast just a bit ago, so, you know, disheveled, but I think that's probably okay. And we're gonna play some Netrunner today. A couple things to say, just some like, I don't know, notes. Firstly, our stream did go down just at the end of it on Thursday, which is unfortunate. The internet in this apartment has been surprisingly dodgy in the last couple days. So if something like that does happen, I apologize. Not much I can do about it. I don't even know if it goes back up, if like we'll reconnect to the YouTube stream. I don't actually know. So if that happens, that sucks. That's a total bummer. I didn't realize that the ending of last stream actually caught. I thought the internet went down, and then it's just me like yelling like, shit, the internet went down. And that that did make it onto the stream, which is really good stuff. Pretty good things. Doing better. Hey, good to hear. Good to hear. I guess the other thing we wanted to say is that we have a game night kit on Tuesday. If you want to come in and play, it is just 3 rounds organized, starts at 6:45 Eastern, or registration does. Just drop by our Discord, and then we start playing at 7. So we'll have 3 rounds on Tuesday, and I'll record it and put some videos out, which would be some good stuff. And I think that's all the gatekeeping, not gatekeeping, note-taking, gatekeeping. You're not a real Netrunner player unless you play in a G&K. And we're going to play some stuff today. Yo, happy Mother's Day. Hey, Baza, how's it going? Happy Mother's Day. How are you? So I think today what are we going to do is we're going to play the deck list of the week just because it seems goofy. It's a deck that has only resources and then programs, and may the resource be with you, which sounds really, really funny. And then after that, I think we're going to, what's it called? We're going to probably just continue iterating on the deck list that we didn't have the time to finish on, what's it called? On Thursday. Basically I've been playing Cordyceps, and I think Cordyceps is nutty strong and just a really fun ability, and we're trying to make an aggressive shaper. And then sometime between Thursday and now, I realized, like, why are we doing that? We can just play that in Anarch and have an aggressive Cordyceps Anarch with Nob Curie in faction. And I'm still not sure what identity to play as. I feel like there's some good value to be Valencia, but I also could see ourselves being obviously Freedom, or even Alice seems not bad, or even Hoshiko seems fine, so we'll figure it out. Tell my kids to put their favorite songs into a playlist so their Echo will play them. So that's them taking care of the afternoon. Oh, no way. Hell yeah. Growing up, that was the same sort of idea when we got like mini disc players. I don't know if anybody really... Was that a thing anywhere else? I feel like mini discs were something I've only heard in my house growing up, because I never heard anybody else have one of these or use one of these. These were like not very popular. But that was the same thing as when we learned how to do this, and we're like, oh, we can put whatever we want on it. And then just like hours and hours and hours of countless fun. I think I don't know which player we had. I think Sony is the only people that made it. Anywho. Zeroth, what's up? Goof time. Hey, how you doing? Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing okay. Man, mini discs were cool. We each had one, and they were different colors. I forget what color I had. Man, I am not surprised this technology didn't hang around, but this was like super Netrunner at the time, at least, so I think. We had one of those. Fuck off. Really? I only remember mine breaking. That's not a good follow-up. Oh shit, I didn't realize that was a thing people had. Why did you have them? Like, I was too young to realize what the market looked like, but was that something that was actively marketed as being like, oh, you're tired of CDs? Because even after that, we went back to like MP3 CDs, which were like a big thing. Mini disc equals Betamax too. Yo, what up, Chris? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think at that point, like, it might have been 3 or 4. When did Laserdisc come out? Yeah, this is like the 3rd time this week people have talked about mini discs. Are they making a comeback? Fuck off, really? Patrick, I didn't think anybody knew what those were. Once I'm not at work, it feels weird. Hey, enjoy your Sunday, huh? I have no idea. It was old when I had one. I was on the edge between mixed cassette tapes and burning audio CDs for CD Walkman. Yeah, I think I'm a bit too young for the cassette tapes thing, unless I was like trying to do something kind of punk rock. But that one I missed. Sony's like the king of failed formats. I think that's something that should be celebrated. I think that's kind of really cool. Fuck, I don't want to talk about this one because then I'm going to drive up the price on eBay. I always look into these every once in a while. Firstly, I need to admit that I bought a Zune at one point in my life, so that starts that conversation poorly. Secondly, what was this thing called? Zen Jukebox Extra 2. Okay, check this out. This was like the coolest Nomad, yeah. This was like the MP3 player that my brother had growing up, and then I got it after him. That's kind of how it works. This thing is like really hard to find, and it's like a hard drive. This thing was a tank. It's like way big, and it has this like steel casing that popped off. This thing was super cool. I remember being such a big fan of this because I think one of the coolest features that it had on it, because it was made by the whatever these people, Creative was making sound cards at the time. So this thing like toted a lot of really powerful sound hardware within it. And so you could do some really cool things. One of the features, you had all these EQ features, which were really novel, but you could speed up and slow down songs on this thing without affecting the pitch, which isn't something I've actually seen on any other player since then. And as a kid, like, you know, I'm going to listen to my Death Cab for Cutie, but play it slightly faster, stuff like that. Like, that shit was dope. This thing is so cool. I want to get my hand back on one of them. I have the Nomad too. Yo, what up, David? No way. Is it good? Because this thing was dope. And like, you still find people like posting them. I saw one off of like a Craigslist, and it was unfortunately in in Calgary or something, so it was hard to get hold of it. But I would pay money to get one of these, especially if we find an unopened one. That'd be dope. It was really cool. Want to talk about age? I remember playing computer games on cassettes. Honestly did not know that was a thing. I had no idea. Creative Nomad 2, not the same powerhouse. Creative Nomad 2. Creative for a while made like, you know, MP3 players. They probably still do. You know, like the small ones that you're meant to exercise with if you don't like do the iPod thing. So what's up? People who hated the Zune probably grew up in Nintendo versus Sega Wars. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. The Zune wasn't very good. Like, the Zune had some really cool stuff in it. It was nice and colorful and cheery, and I liked the design of it. It looks like that sort of chunky, ugly Microsoft thing. But I think the biggest issue is that it did not have really good software, from my recollection, of getting your music from your PC onto your Zune. So, like, I purchased all my music legally growing up. And so we would like use iTunes and stuff to move music over, MP3 tracks and stuff like that. And Zune was really shit at that, so I ended up returning it. Sega better system, but Nintendo had the games. My first console was a PlayStation 2, but that's because my family didn't want me to have a console. I bought my own PlayStation 2 when I got a job when I was in elementary school, I guess. And that console, PlayStation 2, had some really good games. The PlayStation 2 versus Xbox war. I don't think that's actually a war you can have. May the resource be with you. Okay, let's do this. Netrunner deck. May the resource. So I've looked at this deck before. I think I capitalized that incorrectly. We're playing Hoshiko, and we're playing a deck that has a lot of resources. So a couple cool things about this deck. First console, still got it, was a PNG box. What's that? Pong box. Okay, very good, yes. I think my first console was a PS1, like 2 years after the PS2 came out. Oh, no way. Interesting. This is also embarrassing, but the reason I bought a PS2, the thing that like pushed me over the edge to be like, let's get into the consoles, was Marvel Nemesis? Rise of the Imperfects, this game, which was this arena fighting game. I'm just going to open up gameplay because I don't think the Wikipedia is going to be that exciting. It was this like Marvel arena fighting game. I might have talked about this on the channel before. And then they made their own villains for this universe. So there's like, you know, Spider-Man and Iron Man and shit. I really cared about Spider-Man when I was a kid. That's their Wolverine render. Man, this thing aged well. And then they made a bunch of their own villains. Like this guy, his name is Johnny Ohm. I still remember the shit. I don't remember that guy's name. And then you fought in these arenas, and it had some pretty basic ass combat with some finishing moves like that. And let me tell you, this was like the coolest thing. I had to get a console, and this game is pretty bad. Luckily, the PlayStation 2 had so many other good games, so that really did not matter. Anything that would just get me to purchase one of those is good enough. This game will not be remembered. Marvel Nemesis is the shit, but Drake says, fuck no, it's not. It's garbage. It's really bad. I want to play it a while. Xbox was better. We had so many PS2s break, but my Xbox is still going. Really? My PlayStation 2, admittedly, the laser did die, and I need to find another one. But my Xbox 360, it's died like 12 times within 3 years or whatever. Got chewed up by my mom for buying a Game Boy Color with my own money for my first job. Oh, feels bad. First console was an Atari. Damn. It's the first game I ever owned a PS2, and it was dope. Yo, it's welcome to the club. Hell yeah. It was cool until I played it for a while and they'd been like, well, it's kind of shallow, isn't it? And all the heroes that they made were like pretty, I think Johnny Ohm is probably, or the villains are forgettable. Besides Johnny Ohm, and then there was this one guy I liked who was like, all the diseases in one person. And anyways, not Xbox 360 break all the time, but the original Xbox I still have. I think the original Xbox seems to be built really well. Those do not break. But a 360, holy shit, what were they thinking? My first console was an Atari 2600, but to be fair, I was really little when we got it. I was playing video games classically back on like DOS and stuff like that. Like that's the earliest. My first video game was, I forget which number it is. I think it's 4. But Commander Keen 4, I think it was. So that's kind of, yeah, 4. That's the first game I ever remember playing. So that kind of is where I started. And obviously we didn't stop since. But I never did Atari. And we didn't have a home console growing up until a long time. But we played all the PC stuff. Yeah, we played a lot of stuff. First console PC was a BBC Acorn. I don't, what's that? BBC Acorn TV? No, thanks. BBC Micro? The Beeb? Acorn BBC Micro. Ooh. Okay, this is the deck. This is the deck list of the week. I have no doubt we'll play it again on Thursday, but there's a cool thing going on here. Notice we have 36 resources and 9 icebreakers and no events, which means a couple of things. Firstly, for some fucking reason, we don't have multi-axis. We don't have turning wheel in this deck for some reason. We have breakers, which are good. We have no multi-axis. I would assume that we would have turning wheel, but then we have a lot of resources. In fact, that's most of what we have. And the cool thing is that we have some cool reasons to run a lot of resources. Firstly, off-campus apartment is a hell of a card. Something that lets you draw anytime you install a resource is crazy strong. Now, admittedly, we're going to put all our eggs into one basket. So if we lose our off-campus apartment, we probably lose the game, which is going to be an issue. It's going to be a problem. And then we have Oracle May, which is really easy for us just to say resource over and over again, and every turn gain 2 credits and draw a card, which is actually a fair bit of value. That's really good on tempo. We're going to reveal the card that we draw, but it shouldn't be a surprise. It's not like we're drawing into crazy tricks like Stim Hack or Rebirth into Omar or something like that. So it shouldn't be that big of a downside. And if we ever flub and hit one of the 9 programs, they just go into the bin, which is probably one of the best things we can do anyways. Hey everyone, first console computer was a Spectrum ZX. Oh no. There's so much like of the older tech stuff that I just never grew up with. Man, we keep coming back to this. It's actually like a wild thing, and I never realized how big of a deal it was. The fact that growing up, so my father immigrated from Yugoslavia back in the 80s, and he came to Canada, and he had to at that point he was a doctor, but they didn't care about his degree, so he had to do it again. In Canada, he had to learn the language, like some crazy, that sort of whole. I came here with cowboy boots and $36 stories, like. Fucking great dude. But growing up, he was starting his own practice and doing that sort of stuff, and for no reason, he didn't have a background in it, but he understood. He's like, I got 3 kids, and they're definitely not the sportiest people. I'm gonna buy a computer. And back in the time, we might have been one of the first people out of people I knew to have a home computer, and it was probably incredibly expensive to get hold of, and we weren't throwing around money. And my dad still always as a priority was the guy who was buying technology. Be like, here's a PC, show it to the kids. I have a degree in comp sci. My brother went to school for comp sci. It's had such a profound impact on the fact that my dad was just like, yeah, I guess we're gonna get one of these because this seems important. So thanks, Dad. 36 resources and no DDoS. Yeah, there's some weird includes in here. Hey everyone, I said hey GC, what's up? Spectrum ZX. Was the MXX ever released in North America? Soul, what up? I don't know what that is. Pink, I'm doing good. Thanks, yourself. Commander Keen was the shit. Commander Keen was really good. My dad did the same thing and it really did work out for us too. Yeah, it's crazy. I have no idea if he purchased this and thought okay, in 30 years, they'll be totally entrenched in it. Or even in 10 years, he'll be upset because they're not going outdoors and spending too much time on the computer. Yeah. Jessica says, what do we do against Asmari with scarcity? So we have a bunch of issues with this deck. Firstly, we're really weak to scarcity of resources. We're also really weak to Asmari. And on top of that, we're also really weak to slot machine. So all that stuff is really bad, so we're gonna have to deal it and break with it. This is by no means a really strong competitive deck, but it's an interesting thing to do. Other people are talking in the deck list other things you could play, like Spoilers, which is a card that can just give you a win condition if you put it into your deck. You can also play DDoS. You can also play, I think you need Turning Wheel. I'm so surprised this deck doesn't have Turning Wheel. I don't think Bachlan Botchkin is worth 6 influence, although I do understand why it is good. Especially with the tag thing, it's really clumsy if you don't draw your Citadel. We had a Spectrum when we were young. It was a ZX that was upgraded to a 56K. I don't know what any of this means. Yeah, Slot Machine's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be exciting for them. It's gonna be really exciting. So we could tune this list. I reckon we want to play it. I'm also in some extent surprised that we only have 2 Caddy Joneses. I feel like the Bachlan Botchkin influence could be better spent off of even a class act, even though I don't think we can ensure that we draw it. DreamNet's good. Councilman is a 2 of, which is kind of wild, but I think this card is pretty powerful, especially when you have Street Peddler. I think a lot of people will misplay around that interaction. Nobody respects Street Peddler into Councilman, nobody. Yo, what up, Parallel? Sunday streams, yeah. Jessica, no Earthrise. I think no Earthrise is forgivable on the basis that we are an off-campus apartment deck, and Earthrise is expensive. So any connection we install draws a card, and let alone we're on Hoshiko. So Archivist, Peddler, Scrubber, Oracle, Caddy, Councilman, Bagad, Beth, Bachlan. There's a lot of draw where I'm not actually that interested in putting an Earthrise in here. But like cards like this, like Bagat, in theory, spoilers, which isn't amazing in a meta if people are scoring 5-3 agendas. They can get some value where they actually do exist as a win condition. But I think we need 100%. We need what's it called? Turning wheel. Yeah, there should be enough card draw. How do you protect off campus? From C-Source, we can't really. We just hope that we, what's it called? We basically hope that we have more money than them, which is going to be hard. We have Citadel Sanctuary, which kind of helps on our turn. So we don't end our turn with a tag in worst case scenarios, but it's going to be difficult. Hoshiko is naturally kind of good against hard hitting news and C-Source in like, you know, she gets a credit and gets a link, stuff like that, or 2 credits in theory by the time that the C-Source is relevant. So it's going to be hard. Split cards between multiple off campuses, that's also totally something you can do. There's no reason not to, I don't think, besides putting multiple off campuses. We lose to All Seeing Eye no matter what, so whatever. And there's no more Fall Guy or anything. So I actually already brought this game into here. So we're just going to hope that we don't play against Scarcity as Amari. Slot Machine is pretty common, but you know what? It seems fun. There are some Nambos if you switch it up. What do you mean, David? If only Currents weren't around, that's just going to kill it if anyone plays it. Yeah, maybe. It seems like Nisei is doing something about Currents, so I think we just have to hold. They said we'll figure out what the new most wanted list looks like in about 1 to 2 months, and they said that I think like a week ago. So best case scenario, maybe we'll find out in 3 weeks. Worst case scenario, what, June? End of June? Yeah. There's some other really strong cards against this too. There's that like biased reporting card that says name a card type, gain 2 credits for every card installed on the runner's side. They could, in theory, trash some of their cards to prevent that. So you can make some mad amount of money. Just steal an agenda to clear scarcity? Yo, what up, Epstein? Yeah, exactly. But like, if we want to do that, we need cards like DDoS. Like, we need cards that can aggress that easily so that we can get that early thing up. Because it's slow for us to get money because we don't have Stim Hack, Gamble, Dirty Laundry. We don't have anything fast that makes us money. And we need to find our breakers too, which admittedly Anarch can't tutor for, but we're not even running I've Had Worse or any like quick draw. It's going to be a lot of installation draw, which is going to suck if we have to play into scarcity. Having played the diversified portfolio format, I'm so ready for Currents to be gone. Padraig, what is that format? I take it Currents aren't in there? There's also like, I guess a restricted card is Paperclip, which kind of makes a lot of sense if we're playing, what's her face? It's not even maybe that necessary if we're playing Oracle May, because like the chance of you hitting your Paperclip if it was a Croter it's admittedly not that high. Like we're going to be doing maybe Oracle May once a turn, but we're going to be doing multiple card draws through drawing or installing resources or connections, excuse me. So we could play Corroder and then we can maybe play Film Critic, which is a really strong resource. Also, I did not realize this. I was reading this deck list, which somebody came first at the last Iberian lockdown playing, and apparently this is not like the first time it's happened, but playing, what's it called? Nero Severn. And not a lot of people play Nero. Its ability is just like the problem is like Nero's ability, 1 link, 45-15. That's really good stuff. But you can always play 419, which usually seems a bit more impactful in the matchup. But Nero's ability is very interesting, and I'm considering it a bit more. But this made me think of 2 things. Firstly, D-Res decks. One of the problems with D-Res decks is you have to run into an ice and then like break it or jack out somehow, which is not that hard to do with like Flip Switch. But Nero could be a fine target for that sort of deck. It seems a bit worse than Los because of the money. Oh, Tenon. Fuck. We're going to get Red Planet Couriers. I also don't have any ice destruction, which is really good against Tenon. This opening hand is bad. We don't need 3 oracles. But the other thing that they're talking about, and I totally forgot about this card, and there are some lists, especially if maybe criminals lose currents in the future. Dorm Computer. Has anybody played this when I was restricted? Like, this card seems okay. This is still a relevant card in the meta, and this gives you 4 runs for 0, which if you're running Amakua can be pretty good against, I don't mind that. Hey, cheers. Cheers, you too. Okay, opening hand, we have the Oracle to set up. We have the Begot for pressure. This is Tenon Institute. Let me just zoom in and set up. So if we don't make a successful run, they get a token. So they can use that token a fair bit. Ooh, Medical Research Fundraiser. And why do they want tokens? Probably to trigger light out. Sometimes they do shipment from Tenon. There's a lot of things that they want to do. I'm too zoomed in now. I guess this is as zoomed in as we're going to be. I like Nero a lot for new players and smaller card pool. Yeah, for new players, I see that Nero being cool. It makes running a bit less scary. Okay, wait, no, we can go about there. I do like Gabe better for teaching, but yeah, I get it. Another against this Mario, we can see how long it takes him to twig. We find out we have no events, yeah. It's a custom ban list and point awaited IDs. Okay. It's a Siberian lockdown format with values. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, we've definitely heard about this one. Okay, so they're setting up. They have 10 credits. They really don't care about us having money too much. From here, we could always start with a street peddler, or we can probably start with Oracle and hope that we get what's it called? I'm just gonna mute this. I don't know if you can hear it, and hope that we draw a resource. By resource, I mean off campus. So we'll just say resource. Nailed it. So we got the Oracle made down. I think we want to find the street peddler. We got Citadel Sanctuary. We can install for 1. We can install Pad Tap for free. And we can install Bachlan Botchkin for 1, which is a good surprise. This gets around Kakugo relatively easily. And I think we're just going to run archives. I think we are not that excited to set up. And now we made a successful run so they don't get a counter. Yay, Pow, what's up? Goes perfect with my dinner. It's Metro Grid. Hey, happy Sunday. Enjoy your dinner. What do you got? So we're worried about archives having breached domes in it. And we just drew a councilman. Oh, because we're Hoshiko, of course. That was another good reason to run archives. We did that on purpose. Now, we could run here and die to a couple things. I don't think it's super likely. And Pad Tap can get some value. I wonder if the economy in our deck needs it. I doubt it. Let's see what resources we have. Pad Tap's good. We can install Bagat, which I feel like we want. Paladin Puemo is also a really good econ card if we need it, and we need to keep our econ up if we want to run once a turn. So their ability is going to fire at least once or twice. So I think we're going to install the Bagat so we don't lose it. I think we're going to run archives to keep our Hoshiko up, but also maybe hit a breach dome. Yeah, there you go. So we lost Councilman and a Black Orchestra. That actually helps us a fair bit. And from here, I think we can just play the Pad Tap. If they trash it, it slows them down. Some tortillas with bean and stuff. Sounds nice. It's gonna be a fun format deck from the Trace League. Guacamole. Their IPO, they trashed our Pad Tap, which we're totally fine with. So here we want to find, it's unfortunate that our Bagat is going to throw things on top of, what's it called, a Breach Dome. So we'll obviously call resource. We want to find our killer. So I think we're just going to play Bachlan and face check HQ. There's nothing we die to here. It's an Aket? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we have a breaker in hand, so continuing to encounter. We can de-res this at some point, so all the subs are going to fire on this one. Ooh, this is now automated. That used to not be the case, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a bummer. Place 1 advancement on a card. And now I think we can run R&D. If we hit a snare, we can always like pop the Citadel Sanctuary before end of turn. It's a mouseless, so we are going to take a tag. We could break this, but I think we're just going to pop the Street Peddler. So that we can, so we lost the Scrubber, that's fine. So that we can clear the tag. It's going to be difficult for us. So shipment from tenant, yeah, that makes sense. So if we don't run every turn, and they can trace us, they can in theory trace us pretty heavily. We have a link, we have 7 credits, so I don't know if they're going to boost into this, because we did end our turn with a tag. Pad Tap is really good if we let Mouseless fire. We don't have any ice destruction. This is going to be a really hard matchup because we will lose this matchup if we can't consistently run every turn, and I don't think we have the economy to do that. Andre Wee-Man, what's up? How you doing? Paladin can't install connection cards? You're right, it can't. So that's really anti-synergistic with this deck. It specifically says no connections. I think we probably don't want this. All right, so they don't boost, so we get through it for free. They thought about it at least, though, which I agree, it's not the best for them, but they do have cards like Medical Research, so maybe they can dig back. Janktivist, how's it going? Yeah, there you go, Medical Research. So they're 14. So they're just advancing this, so now it's 5 strength, so I don't know if we have legs in this anymore. As soon as we don't run, they'll shipment from 10 and out a 3-2? I don't know what 3-2s we're scared of. They could just be playing blank 3-2s, but we have no multi-access, so we're going to have to basically go through this and win on singles. And this is like a really hard card to get through. This is 4 credits for us to get through. Are enough of the resources connections to warrant splashing for Paula's? I don't think so. There's nothing that we want to install mid-run that Paula's makes sense for like whatever it is, 4 or 5 influence. Yeah, they're going to get their ability to fire. We have off-campus, which is cute, but we don't really need it right now. And I think even if we draw through our deck really aggressively, it's not going to get us anywhere. Like, I think we just have to sit back and I'm not feeling confident about this because without multi-access, we have to win off singles, and all they do is like ice the shit up so hard that not much we're going to be able to do. This sort of like place type where they just sit back and do nothing and advance their ice always tilts me, and I gotta make sure that doesn't happen. So we can't de-res this. Even if we de-res it, only costs them 3. So we basically have to go in for singles off of the paperclip, which is kind of expensive, right? Like, we don't have any bed pub. They haven't scored out with shipment from Tenon, so the chance of them having an agenda in hand isn't very likely. And also a problem with this deck, the chance of them having preemptive actions is really high. So if we want to get Begot value, we're going to have to run archives relatively quickly. I think we just have to go for it. We'll always try and do her once a turn, Oracle May. We got a Caddy, which is really good. That's infinite money at least. So we'll try and get Caddy down. We'll run HQ. They're going to get advancement and a credit, which is a bummer. And then eventually, I think they just red plan couriers out. But got to suit a multi-axis. Got to start making HQ runs and risk Outcats fires. Yeah, I think so. But again, they have preemptives. Like it's really. Oh wow. Okay, I'll just pay 4 because you can gain 1. I won't end the run. Is this deck almost all resources? Yes, exactly. It's a deck list of the week right now. All right, so we're in. So we hit a Trigger Light, makes sense. We can't really stop that, but we have some destruction. If we install Caddy, I realize that we can't actually hit her that turn, so that's a bit of a fuck up. But we got Hashiko that turn, which is really good. And unfortunately, Hashiko also works poorly with Tenon because we want to like weave in and out. And now we have to watch out. I guess it's not that bad right now. Mass comms. Okay. We basically want to, Councilman's not going to do anything. We basically want to watch out for Surveyor once it's advanced, but we really don't have a game here. Like, we can just sit back and they fast advance out everything and then hope that we win off singles. Man, this card, oh man, this gave them 6. I think this card should cost X, and X is equal to the amount of cards you have with advancement tokens on it. I think this should double your money, but you need to have the upfront money. I don't know if that even balances the card. I don't think it does. Okay. We also have to watch out for damage. Like, we're going to have to run Breach Domes a fair bit. I think we'll play Caddy. Did we do off-campus Caddy? I don't think they're on tags, so whatever. Oops. So we'll hit Caddy. And I guess we'll just do Oracle. And now they can shipment from Tenon out if they have it. We'll still call resource. In theory, we want to fail. Like, we want to hit our killer, and then we can start running. So the Mouseless is getting big. And there you go. They fast advance out. Not much we can do about that. If we keep it a Street Peddler, they would have to, in theory, respect Clop. They know their deck. Still can go over the fact it's neutral. Like, it screams Wayland. Yeah, they have to... What? They double shipment for Tenon? Okay, so I wasn't expecting that. And that's even worse, because if they're double shipment for Tenon for a 4-2, it means they definitely have preemptive actions. So the HQ pressure is kind of rough. All right, we still don't have a killer. I'm just going to face plant HQ. We can always panic and de-res. Oh, it's a Kakugo. Yeah, I don't care. That's fine. We can take the damage. HQ pressure is even better because they'll preemptive their tools. Yeah, to some extent. But now whether we run or don't run doesn't matter because we're going through a cat. Like, if we don't run, they still get a counter. A Trickle Light, we trashed a card. Fuck it, we'll run it. We'll check. If we hit 2 Breach Domes. So it's a sub boost and a Trickle Light got milled. So that's okay. We lost the Councilman. Prevent net damage? Wait, we can prevent damage? Oh yeah, we have Citadel. Neat. And we lost the Scrubber. That's totally acceptable. And then we'll just hit Caddy. And that's our turn over and over again. We're just going to do that until hopefully someone lands. Pay no attention to the sub boost. Is that Keth required that it goes on an advanceable card? I don't think so. I think a Keth says puts an advancement on anything. Oh yeah, installed card, so it doesn't. I don't know if I said hate Rakatha. This is where, like, if we had a turning wheel in this deck, which I'm so surprised we don't, like, we could just balance off the Kakugo, stuff like that, but we're not, unfortunately. And if I'm not mistaken, what's the text on Surveyor? Surveyor trashes a connection, right? Or trashes a resource. Luckily, I think we can buckle in the Surveyor if we need to, but you see where this can be scary. Archivist is interesting. Initiative and security. I think this is an initiative, so we can definitely play that. If we run, they get a counter. If we don't run, they get a counter. The difference is shipment from tenant, but they play 2, so I'm not that interested in running this turn. We'll store the money and we'll liberate it. And this way we weave in and out of she's unique. Weave in and out of Hoshiko. Let's say we're doing that smartly. Their money isn't amazing, but again, like they mass comms for easily 4 credits, or sorry, for 8. Yeah, it's a 0 cost. There's no way to interact with that card without Ice Destruction. They're just gonna click for credits and wait for them to draw into their combo, which is not fun. Got another caddy. She's unique. We'll run HQ. We can always de-res the Surveyor if we need to, or not Surveyor. What's it called? Something else. All right, I guess we'll break this. So we can play the side game here. We don't actually want to draw. But like now this is getting very expensive. This is an 8 credit run. And if their money gets low, we could consider de-resing Kakakuko, but I think we need to keep the Bachland just to be safe against potentially really game losing what's it called? You know, the statue? The Colossus of Rhodes. It's another sub boost. Okay. I think we can play the casts. It's fine. We'll get a card draw. So they start advancing everything at even runner cards, and the next mass com gains 16 or whatever. Yeah, that's largely it. Like they lay. That's the thing that like's frustrating about me. Oh, Beth is going to be good. Is that they have very little game plan besides just ice everything up and click for credits, and then if we don't run, hopefully they combo out. Like it seems like playing solitaire a lot of the time. Beth is good though. I feel like we don't have to run this turn. Again, two shipments are out. If we run, they get a counter. If we don't run, they get a counter. So I don't care too much. The fact that they iced archives makes you think maybe there's something in there, but we still need probably 4 agendas to win the game. Unless they're on Obokata, which seems a bit unlikely. If they're on MCA Informant, I guess we lose, but I don't think there's much we can do about that. Oh, unfortunately, I installed Beth, and before installing Liberated, I did not plan the turnout, which is dumb. You shouldn't have done that, because now we can't install this and click for credits. So that is a giant fuck up. So I think we're just going to install casts, but we also don't want to run out of cards because we're going to need damage. And we have 15 on caddy. I don't think we have to be that greedy. I think we should probably just take the caddy money. No. Yeah, probably should just take all the credits. So then we can do this. Seems better. All right, we didn't run. They can fast advance. I don't think they're actually going to use this ability in a meaningful way. I don't know if they're going to use this. Oh, do they actually have a Trickle 8 shipment? Oh, they're going to actually build a remote. That's interesting. So they can build a bio vault here, stuff like that. I don't see why we don't run this. The only problem is we don't have a Sentry Breaker, but with Bachland Botchkin, it feels pretty safe. So we'll call Resource here, obviously. Oh, there, we got our NK Ultra. We're actually good to go. And we have 5 clicks too. And this server actually might be the easiest to run to turn off their Tendon ability. It's Kakugo. We won't de-res it. We'll just take the damage. We don't die to Snare yet. That's a snare. That's fine. So we can get rid of the tag clicklessly, which is okay. We already did that. We lost nothing that important. So we can draw. So we don't die to Neural. They could have Neural. They built this remote now, so if we ever want to not give them a token, but it doesn't sound amazing, I think we'll just draw, and then we'll just hit caddy. We also access the card, so Hoshiko's online. So that, in theory, like does mill us out of cards, and we also know that they have it in hand. Oh, we also have 2-link. Oh, that's really cute. But basically, I don't know. I guess they need to draw mass comms. I think we go HQ here no matter what. We have to make sure that we don't die to Snare. Oh, there you go, preemptive. So yeah, they're gonna have multiple one of these, and now what's it gonna be back? I imagine shipment, mass comms. They're actually bringing a Snare back, okay. Trickle-Light Snare. Oh, not even doing shipment, okay. I guess it's harder for us to interact with Trickle-Light. Yeah, I think that's right. It's way harder for us to interact with Trickle-Light. Oh, we have DreamNet, which it's really nice against damage, and we have 2-link. But we also only have 16 cards. We're gonna get a free card draw a turn. Sometimes I don't actually think that we need to do the DreamNet. We'll just run. I don't really care to draw. Cool, so take a damage here. We lost Dream Net, that's fine. We still don't die to Snare. We'll pay 4 here. And they get a credit and come back. So it's a huge credit swing, right? Like, we pay 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they gain 1. To Project Yagi Uda, cool, that's an agenda. That's good. So I'm surprised that they're running this 4-2. I thought they'd just be running medical breakthrough Yagi Udas and then like Philotic. And then maybe 5-3s, like the future perfects are hard to steal. We'll call resource. We'll hit caddy. Oh, we missed. Whoops. We'll store caddy and we'll hit liberated and we should be good. And we just have to do that until we steal enough agendas to win the game. Trigger light. Advance. Trigger light. Cool. They're in theory on game point. They could be running the 4-3 agenda, which wouldn't be entirely surprising. I don't want to play the Street Peddler because it takes 4 damage out of our deck, and I feel like we might need it. They also have 2 cards in hand. I think we've seen a Trickle Light and the Yagi Uda, so I don't think we know any cards in hand, so I think we're just going to run HQ for sure. 10 full targets to 8 box, so the Nisa counter can be super helpful. 10 also struggles against big dick turning wheels. Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. Those are really good counters, but you can always run Crisium Grid, which I think this deck wants more than the Nisa counter, right? Like, Crisium Grid's so good in this ability. I'm wondering more and more whether Kakugo needs a ban restriction. Automatic net damage seems rough really presently. I don't think so. Like, I think the net buffer chip helps a lot. I think it's interesting that you care about your cards. It's also really weak to Turning Wheel. Like, there's some balance to that. It's also weak because it is low strength, so there is a bit of ice destruction that will deal with it relatively well. So I don't think it's that egregious. If it was restricted, I don't think anybody would play it. That's the issue. Like, I think in any net damage deck, you just play Obakata on top of it. So if anything, I think maybe you can just give more card draw or better damage protection to runners without it being overpowered, which I think Buffer Chip did. I'm not even thinking what I'm doing. All right, it's not cat. We have 2 trashed in there. So at some point we could run. I don't think we did this yet, have we? No. We'll call resource. Fuck. Store caddy. Like, this is our turn. Like, there's very little thinking we have to do. We just run HQ. We don't have to run every turn, right? Again, like, 2 shipments are out, and I think the advancement counters don't matter that much unless they do biotic labor into red playing couriers, which they have enough counters for that anyways to close the game. So with 2 shipments out, I don't think we have to run. Like, what are they going to do? Yeah, like draw, oh, ice credit, like whatever. I think they have a chance of building a remote though, and we only have 12 cards left. We really need better multi-axis. Stargate would be great. I don't think we can play Stargate because it doesn't work with Oracle. I think if we just play Turning Wheel would be fine. Like, it's not that hard for us to abuse Turning Wheel in this matchup. But yeah, I agree. What did we hit? We hit an Akhet, so this could be an Akhet. I think we're just going to still run HQ over and over again. We'll take this money first. I don't see why we wouldn't. Oh, sorry, that was not right. No way 10 is influence for biotic RPC. Oh, that's a good point. Actually, we haven't seen that much. We've seen 2 Akets and Mouseless. They could be on a single RPC. Biotic is a bit harder. That's for sure. Also, Padraig, I can't get over the fact that it's neutral screams Wayland. Yeah, I feel the exact same way over Prysac, but I'm glad Prysac is neutral. At least if it was 1 influence Wayland. So they drew us more cards, which is annoying because eventually we will mill out and they might be on Obakata, but at least now we can check archives relatively easily because we have extra cards that we have to throw out. And we have this huge Bachlan. I think one of the last 4 cards is also Bachlan. And now they mass comps for like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Oh, and they're actually ending the run, which is crazy. So I think we're just going to take all credits and run back. They might have the win in hand. And like, we don't care about the damage anymore. They might force us to draw, which is annoying. Like, they might just force us to draw with Aiki. So do we break all of it? Yeah, I think we will break all of it. Like, RBC is 9 influence for 1 of each. They're each 4 influence. 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, it seems really unlikely. You're right. Biotic seems less unlikely because you could do Biotic into 10 into 10 into advance or Biotic into like 10 in red plant couriers. Like, that seems a bit better. But I think, yeah, RPC might be a bit much. RPC is only 4, yeah. So what were they protecting here? It's a sub boost. I think we missed the 50-50. And we mill 1 card. Okay, well, I reckon we lose. Oh, it was in hand. Wait, did they just top deck the Trickle Light or the Agenda? I think we lost the 50-50. Luckily, we know the only card in hand is a sub boost. So they're on game point. Again, not much that we did was smart. We don't have a lot of money. So we still need about 3 accesses to win the game, unless they're on Obokata, which would be sweet, but I don't see how likely that is. Hello, nice to see you on Sunday. Yo, Borrera, how's it going? How you doing? It's also wild that, man, Archivist never fired once. They got their first initiative out. And now all the Yagi Udas are out. So what's left? Like Nisei tokens? We know this is a sub boost. We can just derez the Mouseless if we really need to. I guess Colossus is still scary. Maybe we don't have money. How inconvenient that if we run every turn, we lose 1 credit and draw 1 card. Bad. Yeah, it's actually really bad that we're running every turn with Hashiko, because it's costing us money and milling us out. Hashiko would be really strong with fast. We need to play fast. We'll run Archives. I don't know. We don't have money anymore. That one turn we fucked up. Oh, this is a new Liberated. Never mind. And this is the Breach Domes are also taking damage out of our deck. Like, it's so bad. Oh, they're on GFI as a restricted. So we still need 2 more agendas. Breach Dome, Breach Dome. So we no longer have cards over these 5. So we probably concede. We'll just run R&D. We got nothing to do besides click for credits from now on. And every time we run, we just lose money. Oh, it's a slot machine. Okay, cool. At least we don't have any deck before we fire that. Imagine they got 3 free tokens. Again, because the deck is like 90% resources or whatever. So we lose 3. Pass ice and continue. We'll just Bocklin this. And just so we can go through. Otherwise, its subroutines are pretty bad. We're still going to have to clear the tag, which is an issue. But I think we've lost. So we can't actually clear the tag. So I think we might just fold here. Right? Like, we can't deal with Kakugo. We have 4 more runs on us. They also have snares. The chances of winning is so low. And, like, we can't even afford to do this. I think we might concede, unfortunately. Like, we have fucked up and maybe, like, we can't clear the tag. We can't even Oracle anymore. I think that's it. I don't think we have a chance. That's it. I think that's it. Admittedly, if they trash any of your resources, it doesn't matter. Besides, actually, no, it does. Besides Bagot, an off-campus apartment. Hey, GG. Ah, man. I really don't like the sort of matchups where they don't do anything besides ice up and then click for credits. Like, they don't have to do anything, and it's a bummer that they can score out from hand. Hey, cheers, you too. This might be one of my least favorite IDs. So our deck, like, we definitely could tune this to be a bit better. Like, if we had any sort of multi-access, Turning Wheel admittedly is countered by the Nisei token, but you can always kind of go in on that. Having a bit more money, DDoS wouldn't have mattered in this matchup so much, but you could always, I don't know whether we play damage prevention. I don't think there's any resource damage prevention that we care about too much. Diana Chacon's probably not playing back. Yo, good game, Pink. It's a shame. I think Tenet could be more interesting. Yeah, I feel it. I don't think it is very interesting, unfortunately. And yeah, we don't have any good ways to interact with most of this stuff. Like, how do you interact with this? You Apocalypse, you have Ice Destruction, you have Clot. If you have any of those things, it's much harder for them to win and they have to actually pull it back. Could have won on that single axis, have 1 VP in the deck. What's a VP? Is that the 4-3? Vulnerability profit audit, vulnerability audit, whatever that is. But it's a 1 in 21, so like, I'm not surprised you're on the 4-3. I'm surprised you're on this Nisei 4-2. Vanity Project. Oh, Vanity Project. Cool. Interesting. Yeah, it's a 1 in 21. Man, spending that much influence. What's the Vanity Project influence? 1 or 2? It's better Vanity. Vanity is like, what, 6-4? I feel like a 4-3 is probably good enough for that deck. Oh, no, but you can't fast advance a 4-3. Never mind. The 4-3 doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it says you can't score at the turn you install it. Kyle, what up? All right, so hey, Let me pull up what we were working on last week, because I think that's cool. Improved protein source is the FA capable 4-3. Yeah, it's true. And like giving them 4 credits probably doesn't matter that much when you like, they're already playing a medical research fundraiser. So I don't think they care too much. So last week, technically still this week, we were playing this deck, which I think we want to spend some time optimizing. Are we back to Cordyceps? Yeah, we are. So the idea is that this is a Cordyceps deck. This deck has unseen changes, and you could kind of show that we were going here. We wanted to make changes to make this aggressive, and the big idea is that Cordyceps is a hell of a card. So whenever you make a successful run on the central server, you can remove a token to move an ice, and this is so cool and so flexible because now you can take ice off of remote servers. You can move unresed ice. You can do some really mean stuff, and we were trying to capitalize on that. Now, unfortunately, at the same time, we were trying to play Mass Driver, which mathematically is just not a very good card. And so we were trying to figure out how to make an aggressive Haley deck. And so we had some ideas, and I think Nob Curie is a really big deal because I haven't noticed how strong Nob Curie Cordyceps is. And correct me if I'm wrong, because to some extent, this does feel a bit like the same sort of, what's his name? Shit, that card that would install connections or hardwares for 2 credits fewer. It was a criminal connection. If you run with a Cordyceps with no tokens on it and you run a central, Nob Curie gives you the token so you can use the Cordyceps no matter what, which means you can't be purged out of a Cordyceps, which is really strong. And that's a thing, is like Palangi you can purge out, and sure, if they can run an unprotected remote, you get the token back. But if I'm not mistaken, Nob Curie Cordyceps you can't turn off. The supplier, thank you. I prefer medical over celeb gifts, especially with FA deck. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see medical. The supplier, yeah. Yeah, so that always works. Yo, what's up, Steroid? Which is really exciting. So the idea was we wanted to build a very aggressive Shapered list. She kind of died for this. It's like a perma imp. Fantastic. So that's a really strong ability that you can move around central servers. And I feel like that alone is worth it, that you don't need to play Inversificator, you don't need to play anything else. And we were just trying to make a very aggressive Shaper out of this. I don't think we need Rebirth because we don't have to be Kit anymore. And so we played like programs that are cheap and efficient. I want to play Q-Bonds in it because Q-Bonds are really easy to capitalize off of unresed ice if you can. But now I'm realizing like we can just play 2 Cordyceps. Oh, it's 4 influence. Never mind. We could consider playing this in Anarch and just play an aggressive Cordyceps deck in Anarch because you already can play Nob Curie, you can play Mining Exit and stuff like that. But the idea is to try and get this deck as lean and as aggressive as possible, which can be pretty difficult. But I feel like we might want to try this at least one more time in Shaper before we go a bit further. Do we want Cortez? I don't know, maybe. Cortez prevents you from rezzing stuff and it makes things expensive to res, which is, yeah, it's probably pretty cute. It's not the worst thing for sure. But the big question I have is how to make this aggressive and how to make it run very efficiently. So I changed back to Haley, which Haley can be pretty aggressive for setup. I think Haley might be one of our better options. Akiko, unfortunately, doesn't have that much influence, which she does have an aggressive R&D pressure ability, which is really strong. We also have Smoke, which has a smaller deck, but she has 1 credit a turn for running, and that's kind of like bad pub, lol, not really. It's also fun seeing Cordyceps emergency shutdown combos. Oh, wow, yeah, we could actually run D-Res stuff as well, which is really cool. Yeah, so this is Bankroll or Mining Accident. And hear me out. Do you want to arguably might be better than that? If I only remember what the name of the card was. And I remember this one deck that I was such a big fan of. That was just an Anarch deck running all of the Heap Breakers and then running 3 of these. And that was the entire deck. I think it was like an Omar deck, or it was like a Val Rebirth into Omar deck. And the idea was like multi-threader, if you get it down cheaply, which ideally we can with modded, let alone Haley's ability, this is 2 credits a turn, which actually might go farther than Mining Accident or anything else in our deck, which is really strong. We're going to have an MU issue for sure, considering we want this, we want multi-threader. We are on Palangi and Paperclip, which is a really strong combo as well. What about doing in CT Extra MU helps the smaller deck size? Yeah, I haven't got down to the smaller deck size yet, whether we really need to be that slim. I'm thinking that there's a big chance that we want to just be set up more aggressively with Haley. Like the idea is that Haley can install Cubon Cordyceps run in the same click. Like you can mod it out R&D interface run. Like that sort of compression seems to be probably a bit better than 1MU, but I'm totally down to be wrong. We can also run Net Chips, which isn't a high tempo card, or this might actually be the deck or one of the decks where like finally playing that Shaper 3 cost hardware that gives you money in, yeah, this one might actually pay off at some point. I feel like we don't have to play 3 simulchip. I feel like our decoder is still trash. I feel like I think we're running way too much things that take up MU, so I don't think we can do what's it called. I'm not sure that we want Rizeki. I think Proco might be too slow and antithetical to what we're trying to do, where we might just want instead symmetrical visage and call that fine. Also, maybe we want fan side combo. I don't know. That seems a bit control though. I think Cortez and Shaper is really, really good. It's been running a single Cortez and Kid, and it's hella good. Yeah, the thing is, like, Shaper classically sits back a bit more, so it's you're more likely to get Cortez value. I'm hoping that we're a bit more aggressive, but again, they can always just, like, you know, pop off on IPO turn 2. Simon Chip seems like a 3 because of how crazy it is with Cuban. Yeah, it's a good point. Could we consider going Ngolo and Corroder to get off Euler? I don't actually like Ngolo that much. Like, I think one of the big benefits of Ngolo is that you can play this and nothing else, and you can run, but it is prohibitively expensive. It's good to deal with ice that you need AI breakers to deal with, but those aren't that common anymore. I think there's very few that you actually care about. And I feel like if we just play Paperclip and Palangi, we are probably going to get more value than Ngolo. Ngolo is also 2 MU, which is not great for our deck. Cyberfeeder might be better than Multi-Threader. You think? Like, MU is an issue, and Cyberfeeder is like half the value. I know we save a credit on it, but this is only 1 credit a turn. Well, this is 2 credits a turn, which is massive. Clippy is dummy efficient. Yeah, it is. I feel like Proco might be too slow. I think we can maybe do, like, what else can we jam in here that's like aggressive money? Like, is DreamNet good enough? Yeah, probably. It's a 1-of though, which is awkward. But I think we want just like symmetrical. Whether we want to play 1 or 2 is kind of up to you. But we want to, how can we make this like lean and aggressive? We also have 1 more M influence, and I don't think we're doing enough on the MU front. I really don't think the MU is good enough, and I don't want to play Cyberdelia that heavily. Amakua is unfortunately like the truth. Like, Amakua is definitely very good, but then they can purge. Admittedly, if they purge, it's not that bad for us. Yeah, we probably just play Amakua. Yeah, we cut Diesel because we were playing Proco. I think you're right that we want the Diesels back in there. Yeah, maybe we do just play Amakua. Amakua does work. CT but installs are slower. Yeah, we could. Well, this is something that we can definitely test. You've got Simulchip Palangi, Purge be damned. Yeah, we can always do that, which is great. And I think we want a 3rd Simulchip with Cuban and everything. So this is in theory the deck. It feels like it doesn't have anywhere near enough money, and I think that we have way too much MU. So just check what it draws like. So this is our opening draw. This is what we do. We draw once, Diesel, and then we like, wow, we don't actually have a good Haley here, do we? I guess we can modded R&D interface Simulchip, but that's kind of gives our hand away. I think we might just like Dirty Laundry Beth, which is unfortunate. But the idea that you can solve Palangi and Cuban for 1 click is so nice. I feel like this would probably just be better in Anarch though. I just feel like we don't have enough aggressive like run-based economy here. Like, just playing Val is probably way more money than we'll get from most of the things that we're trying in our own deck. You might want Stimhack though. Yes, Stimhack is incredibly good. And is it better than Amakua? I feel like Euler also isn't right. I feel like this needs to be a Gordian or something. What's up, Stance? Multi-threader Rubicon. The thing with the Rubicon switch though is it's expensive. It's hella expensive. It's just really expensive, and we can't recover from this. Like, a lot of times you need support cards for this. We might be able to set this up faster than Haley. Jason, what's up? I don't think so. Because Wu can't pull viruses, which is the biggest issue. So you have to SMC for them, and then they become really important. Maybe 2 multi-threaders, 2 Stimhack, no Amakua. I feel like that seems good. I was thinking of something else right now. What was I thinking of? Yeah, we have SMCs. We want Stimhack. Yeah, that seems a bit better. The Dirty Laundries don't seem amazing in Haley, but I thought we were going to be aggressive. Brahmin, Prognostic Q-Loop instead, Nob Curie. Johnny, what's up? Nob Curie is entirely what the deck is built around. So Nob Curie with Cordyceps is the reason we're playing this. Whether you can get enough value with Simulchip, I don't know. But that whole Brahmin Prognostic Q, I think, is a totally different build. Yeah, I think we need more MU. And go back to Rizeki. Fuck. What's the chance that Rizeki is just better than Cuban? Rizeki is also just good against other matchups, which is the problem. Like, it's one of the best asset hate cards. Stuff like that's really relevant. So here, that's a good hand, right? We'd keep that. We do draw, gamble, and then we do Beth casts. Probably Diesel and then just do cast symmetrical and then throw out the paperclip. That's a pretty good start. Huh. Oh, it doesn't seem amazing though. I gotta be honest. It doesn't seem the best. Cordyceps though seems so good. Misdirection, multi-threader, Palangi, self-modifying code. Putting this in CT would help with MU. Not sure how to bring it down to 40. That's the issue. I imagine we would kill the call the laundries. I'll try this list as is, and then we'll iterate from there. Because I think also they might just be better in Anarch. And the thing with Anarch, like, okay, in Anarch, there's also some really cool things you can do with this. Like, imagine you're spending influence on Cordyceps, which I'm aware is a shit ton of influence. Draws really thin. Yeah, I think you're right. So we'll do this. What's it called? So Knobkiri Cordyceps is really strong, but then you can start doing some ridiculous stuff with Knobkiri Cordyceps. Like on top of that, you can move ice around pretty freely, so you can start playing Hippo relatively easily. You can all put whatever ice you think is problematic and put it and then trash it. On top of that, if you want to run even more support cards, like this is crazy, but you could be playing this in Alice, you could play Immolation Script. On top of that, like you could maybe get away with playing Eater. And if you play Eater and Cutlery, you can move things around with Cordyceps Knobkiri and get a fair bit of value from that, which I think is kind of neat. -3 DL, -1 Simulchip, -1 Visage SMC. Those are, what's a DL? Dirty Laundry? Yeah. Prey Devil Ship. Yeah, you could do that combo too. You could do that combo for sure, but I think if you're doing Devil Charm, you might as well just not spend influence and do Chisel. I don't know. I feel like in Anarch, if you can move ice freely, you have some really good stuff. It's really strong with DDoS. Some really cool stuff here. Most Kamals run SMC and Consume. Could go with that kind of build. I'm not even convinced that we have to do Freedom. Like, I feel like if we want to just be able to run cheaply, we could consider going Val and Rebirthing. We also could just consider being, and this is a hard sell, but we could consider being Alice. Freedom is definitely fine, but I don't know whether we want to lean on Yusuf. We might want to. DreamNet seems expensive if you're not getting the credit off of it. I don't think so. I think you're right, it is expensive, but yeah, we probably can't afford this in a lot of cases. Yeah, you might have a point. It's only 1 credit more than John Massenori, and John would get play and run base decks. Huh. I don't want to play Patreon, that doesn't make any sense. Surfer Cordyceps seems strong, pretty strong. Oh, that's true too, but I don't like playing Surfer. Surfer's hella cheesy. But the thing is, like, you don't even need Surfer Cordyceps. If you just do Palangi Surfer, you're good. Like, Palangi Surfer is stupid. I can't believe Surfer hasn't been restricted or anything yet, but I think the majority of people aren't abusing this in any, like, really, the word is used usually is degenerate, but I hope you know what I mean, like, in those sort of, like, shitty ways. I think DreamNet's still good with that quote. I loathe Surfer as a card. I really do too. It really is annoying. What else can we play? We don't have enough for Paula's, let alone enough value. Reclaim, Network Exchange. Man, this card is fun. Film Critic. Oh, you can't really see the cards because they're underneath. I don't know what we put in this spot. Surfer cost is far too low for its ability. Yeah, it is. That easily could have been 3 credits and it probably would be a bit better. Or a bit more on brand. Maybe we can just put a hardware card here. It's unfortunately we have that few resources in Haley. Like, we're never going to get a resource double install. I think all we're trying to double install is programs largely. And we have 16 events in Haley, which feels bad too, but we'll try this. We also can Haley with Simulchip, which is interesting. So sorry, we want to get just, what's an MU card? Is there an MU card? Is there a money card? We'll try a single Cyberdelia and hope that's good enough. This feels not amazing. I feel like we're going to have immediately money issues. I don't think we can play this deck. We have 2-piece, Dirty Laundry, Sure Gamble, casts, and that's all our money. That can't be correct. I don't understand New Build Shaper. I like adding an Akamatsu. If that's the case, I'll just run a net chip. We can mod this, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Akamatsu. We're net chip gang here. Can 3x Dirty Laundry become MU? It could, but I think we just don't have enough money. Cubon is also money. It kind of is. Netchip net ahoy. It kind of is money, but it's also just like refund on money. Whatever. We'll try this. We'll try this and see how bad this is. I imagine this is not amazing. I imagine that it's just going to be a struggle in Shaper to get this economy working anyways, without ditching the paperclip to run some other sort of like Haley, a pawn shop engine or something like that, which you probably could get away with. We have a lot of installs that we could just pawn for pseudo value. But yeah, I don't know. And if we do that, also we can do Euler. Euler is really good with Plongi. And even if it peddlers, it's classically good with Haley. Charles, how's it going? I don't think we need to. I think if we want to do peddlers, we probably have to not play 16 events. That's going to be an issue. For sure, that's going to be an issue. So if we did fewer events, I would want a peddler in it. But you're right, peddler is super underrated in Haley. It used to be a staple, and then people stopped doing it for some reason. It also just gives you more like threat, like, oh, is there Claude on there, stuff like that. Take me to church, Haley. Capitalization, not amazing. Shaper's rough, ATM, Econ, and Draw are pretty hard. DW is a must in Shaper at the moment, and probably Peace less you're on Stealth. What's DW? I guess loss of cash hurt. Yeah, Charles, it did. It made it less like tempo oriented, like that you could install cash and get money. But largely you just splash Harbinger, which has some cool interaction with Simulchip and Euler, which is really good with that combination. Simulchip is really good because it gives you 3 credits more on savings if you're using it aggressively to install programs. But yeah, Deuces, right. Tanuki, what's up? Another Sunday stream and more Shaper. Yeah, we're not going to stay Shaper too long, I reckon. I reckon we want to just try this in Anarch. That chip doesn't give you MU, so 3 MU worth of installed programs and installed net chip means you still can't freely install an SMC without trashing. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm hoping that the SMC problem isn't real. Harsa Chandra. Oh, hey. Okay. Hey. Best of luck. Have fun. So this is Harsa Chandra. If we're tagged, we play with our grip open, which there's not a lot of reason to play that unless you're on Salem's Hospitality and or Salem himself and or Focus Group. This hand is probably fine. I've never played against Harsa Chandra. We're still having the net chip versus MU debate. Sean, we totally are. We totally are. Oh, here. Yeah, I think I'm actually saying this one wrong. I think it's a Harishandra? Lots of Magnum and Asa up restricted. I feel if we really broke the straw for Shaper, I feel. What big cards rotated in Shaper? I think that's the big thing that needs to be considered. Like, what rotated? I honestly don't want to play Peace here because their economy sucks and I don't want to give them money. Like, they can IPO next turn if we play Peace, and I don't love that idea. Okay, not amazing. We have that. So I think we just like do dirty into cast and end on our turn on 5. Hard hitting use sounds likely, but also anything that just considers us tag. So terrible Haley turn, but whatever. Yeah, cash is a big deal. I think Lady was a big deal. That rotated. I think cash might be one of the bigger ones. My friend's so bad at spelling every time it's just a million miles away. Did the breaker that bounced itself rotated? That was big for her. I don't know which one you're talking about. Are you talking about Chameleon? Because that's still there. I've never really seen Chameleon be played in a very compelling way that now other things can't do better. Like, okay. All right. So easily could be an NGO front. Could be a degree mill. We also could just have 2 tags if this is a Ghost Branch. Like, it's hard to get a read on a Harsa Chandra deck. Fly on the wall. All right, my friends. I don't know what we're doing anymore. That would have been so good. Imagine they tagged us there if we didn't run that. He'd be like, it's an NGO front. Oh my God, that would have been so good. So this is kind of a loss of tempo. We don't use these cards, but we're in an okay spot. Inti, David, Parisha, Astro. Oh, Astrolabe, yeah. Astrolabe is going. David, technically, yeah, going is a big deal. I think Inti is not that big of a deal. I don't think anyone actually used Inti as much as getting a cheap install. I thought Lamb opened up way too much. I really got that one. That's true about Lamb as well. So they have 1 credit, which means they can still fire off, what's it called? Ghost Branch. But whatever, we can just clear the tags. We'll see our hand. We have a lot of hardware, so yeah, there you go. That's NGO front. Okay, so that's fine. Man, in terms of an aggressive deck, this is garbage. And they have more money than us, so I don't want to spend like legitimately good money setting up. At least now, next turn we can Peace if they don't threaten us to run or force us to run more accurately. I don't want to go down to 4. That seems bad. This does not seem good. We just don't have money. Like, we could have had so much more money by now if we played most other things. We have misdirection? Yeah, we do. You're right. We could have, it actually would have been good if they hard-hitting used us. We could have pulled a misdirection. That's a really good point. Wow, they're icing HQ. I wonder if they have something in there. IPO, okay, so now we can give them peace money. That's fine. So now we do have money. Draw. I think we'll go for the double install here. I know we're over MU, but don't worry. Fucking net chip gang. And we want to use this all the time. This also is really good with SMC. It lets us pop SMC for free. We can use these credits to play misdirection. We can't use these credits to pay the install cost of the program we pull with self-modifying code, but we can use these credits for the 2 credits to use self-modifying code. No, we don't have mass driver in this one. How's it going, Walloon? No, we're just trying better stuff, ideally, and hopefully getting that R&D lockup relatively soon. And this is good if they're committing that much to the remote. Our draw is bad. So we can do gamble and then mod out knob Curie R&D interface. I don't know if we're ever going to financially recover from that, but it's an option we have. It's only 6. It's fine. Cordyceps knob Curie is the main game plan. That's the idea. Thanks, Jessica. This kind of lines up with how we thought it would go, like no resources. I guess we played 1 again, casts. They have 15. We have access to misdirection. We are multi-threaded gets value. We want to basically just run and figure out what's up. And as soon as they, they're probably running positional ice like Data Raven and friends. And installing the R&D interface and giving them a turn to clear it up is pretty rough, but we're not doing anything. Neither are they. This is prime Netrunner. So we can run here. We'll run HQ, and if they res something, we can install a program and cube on it on top of it. Okay, that's fine. So this is something that we'll end up putting on archives, hopefully. So we'll end the run here. That just made them spend money, which is cute. We don't need a double install here. How's Pat coping with lockdown? Actually, Pat and I played some Marvel Champions yesterday. He's doing okay. He is really busy at work, from my understanding. He's going to be here on Thursday, actually. He said he'd stream in on video. He said that last time he was like, we'll do it later. He did not realize how long this lockdown would be because I was pretty early doing things. So he'll be here on Thursday. He's doing okay, I think. This could be a focus group. Yeah, I think it should be a focus group. Install advance. So if that's a fly on the wall, we are in a really bad spot. So I think we just run it. Thoughts on Marvel Champions, just core? Truce, what's up? Oh, we can't derail on that right now. We'll talk about it after the game if you remind me. But I had, we played against the Goblin, which is outside of core, and we played as like starter decks, and we lost before the game started, which is a bummer. I think we just stim hack this. Yeah, William says stim hack. Yeah, I think so. Although I hear it's not that much of a surprise these days. I'm here for, yeah, not really. Ice Wall. That's probably because they're playing counter surveillance. I mean, whatever, not counter surveillance. Shit, though they wanted the alliance for Wayland. So I think we install something from our deck. What do we install? That's really awkward that this is in hand. I think we install Pelongi. All right, so we finally got our 2 credits of value a turn. And when it was only rewatching the stream where you went off of Marvel Champions for half the stream. Yeah, it was a fun stream, actually. So now we have Pelongi into Paperclip, so we're in a pretty good spot. Data Raven will be annoying, admittedly. And we still have 3 credits, so we could pop the next SMC if we would like to. And hopefully we lose Knob Curie here. Oh, yeah, cool. To re-education. Are they trying to kill us? We're on game point. We lost, damn it, the Cuban. Okay. I don't know how to feel. Besides a bit unsafe. Fuck it, I think we'll gamble, whatever. Yeah, it seems like a kill. Cordyceps, no? Yeah, we'll find it. I haven't tried Goblin with the starter decks, but it sounds tough. I only have the core. It was fucking like turn 4 and Pat had 20 health worth of enemies in front of him. Like, what are you meant to do? What are you meant to do? We can't win that game. And sure, we're playing starter decks, and sure, the idea that you have to build into it and build a good deck, I get it. Salems, they don't know our hand. Nobkiri modded and RNVs, trash any copies of Dirty Laundry. Okay. So it looks like they are trying to kill us. So maybe drawing up. Oh, this is probably punitive. So they missed there. And I don't think they can line double punitive. Oh, you might mean like SMC for Cordyceps. Yeah, I think they're definitely on a punitive deck. That could... Now they know our hand, so we're scared of basically the fly on the wall coming through off of... what's it called? Focus group. So I think we'll still run this. Could be snare. And then after we run it, we can run another central. So you still feel the same about Marvel Champions. Well, sometimes it can be fun. If it feels reasonable and it feels difficult, it's fun. But I'm waiting, I think, a bit for the new stuff. Like, I know the new stuff will have more narrative into it. I haven't bought any of this stuff, by the way. We just played on Tabletop Simulator illegally, admittedly. Pat does own it. It's discussions like this that make me think I'm doing something wrong. We've lost like once, played with my girlfriend all the time and never felt like a blowout. It was so fucking hard. Oof. Were you playing the Norman Goblin version with flips back and forth or the other mutagen formula? We were playing mutagen. It's a Maryland. Yeah, I think we'll trash that. Oh, we could just run R&D. Yo, Crescendo, what's up? Say what you want, but one good thing about quarantine is you being live at sensible times in my time zone. Happy to catch the stream a second time. Hey, glad you can make it. I'm glad also that we can make this time for those. That makes way more sense. It's a slot machine. It's event. Uh-oh. We'll make it a barrier. It's really good to break this thing for 4. Especially when we need to break all 4. And hey, we're getting our 2 credits of value a turn. Agree. Hey, good to hear. Same, need some more narrative. Honestly, I hope Nisei considers ways to involve a narrative. Nisei has been writing stories. It's a Crisium grid. I don't think we care about that. It's an NGO front. We do care about that. Okay. So running HQ at some point would be good. Now this is where we end up like putting the fucking Data Raven on. I don't know. Maybe we should have Cordyceps there. Probably, considering it's our deck. So if we draw there, we get the piece, and we draw again, we get Diesel. I don't want a piece next turn. Then we can draw once and throw out the second knob. Multi-thread in the positive. It's a good card. Crisium Steps, Cordyceps, and Knob Curie. Oh, that's true. It's true. But then they have to res it for 3, and their money seems pretty bad right now, so whatever. Yeah, okay, Marvel. It's interesting. I'm still fucking up phases of the game, and I'm not convinced I'm playing 100% by the rules. But we're in scenarios where, like, if you just draw a lot of enemies, there's not much you can do. I feel like the draw order of the cards has such a big effect on your game that seems less so than Arkham, because Arkham has a game outside of the encounter cards, and almost the entirety of the game in Marvel is the encounter cards. It's just like you will get punched every turn. Also, these enemies showed up. So there's so much randomness into it that I don't know. It feels like if it goes bad, I don't feel like it's entirely my fault, it's probably my fault to some extent. But I also, looking at the cards, I don't see a huge ceiling of how I could have played my hand better, as opposed to if I could have played a better deck, which is a bit of a bummer. All right, I think we want to put Data Raven on R&D. I don't know. We don't need to run this turn. Oh, there's 2 new cards. We probably do run this turn. Let's get another multi-threader down. I wish we could get a Cubone down now. Do we SMC for a Cubone? Maybe. This is the point in the game where I just sit in remote camp. It should have probably been more aggressive. Yeah, I think so. Like, they're at a really bad spot. We're just trying to close the game off. I don't want to take the Data Raven so they know our hand, because they're on something about that. Cordyceps deck, not Cordycepsing. No, we're not. Could the deck work in Atom as if emergent creativity to search out the combo pieces and they'll always be running? Yeah, it probably could. It just feels like a lot of influence. Like, you need 2 of these. Maybe you can only play 1. You're right. And then we could play 1. The other thing. Okay. Let's draw once more to get a double install. That's not exactly what we wanted. How much is it to break this? Is it more than 4? Yeah, it's like 6. If we run last click, what did we hit? Snare? I guess we don't have to risk that. I think we're in an okay spot. I guess we probably shouldn't have done that. We probably should have modded out the multi-threader. Yeah, we probably should have modded out the multi-threader for sure. Hope they ice up archives. Yeah, I don't think we thought through that turn good enough. 4 with Pelongi? Yeah, it's way better with Pelongi Paperclip to break this. But the remote is probably trash. I don't know what we're scared of. We probably just run HQ and threaten Clot with self-modifying code. But like they're on re-education, so I don't know what they're doing. Like this works in theory with like neural EMP, but you need to fast advance this. So you need to like this is like anti-synergistic to some extent. If we don't have cards, then they can't like look at our hand. Maybe they really are trying to kill us with no cards. Maybe they're doing this into like neural. Or punitive? That's hard to do too. Nice. Nice. Now we just have to find ice that they can't res and we cordyceps it. Diesel. Hey, we found it. That's so expensive though. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's expensive. I think we just play the multi-thread and run. We need to keep our money up. This is a bummer. I think it could be a complete image kill using Hari to see your hand. Oh, that's true too. Yeah, it could be complete image. It's an IP block. That's fine. And we got 4 credits worth of run a turn. Like multi-threader is really good if you can get it down and you can afford it. Now they also know we were drawing event program resource. That's the best case scenario for us. We could just lose 3 here, which is probably fine because it's going to cost us 3 and a Pelongi to break it anyways. If they res Crisium, whatever, we still see 3 cards. This is not dependent on a successful run. Yeah, I think they are trying to kill us. Oh, it's another one. Program resource event. Okay, you can fire that too. And now we have less money than them, which is a problem. And we can't steal Bologna, which is a bummer. Let's see if there is Crisium. Deck feels a little poor. Deck feels incredibly poor. Waiver. Okay, cool. IPO. That's bad. And a Bologna. Oh, fuck. Do we have to reveal that? I don't think so. So we just have to make sure we can get back in with 3 credits, which means we have to draw into our stim hack likely. Seems like we're not going to need another this, but we're weak to C-source here. I'm expecting data loops in here somewhere. Yeah, there could be. Data loop is weird though, because it puts cards on top of your deck, so it fucks up with like slot machine and other stuff in some ways. Not exactly. All right, so they just did the IPO, but if they credit IPO, they can't do anything else. All right, so we know there's a Bologna on top of the deck, so it's either we get it from there or get it from HQ. So we just need to make sure that we can run there and access with 5 credits, which if we don't get the stim hack, which is 1 in 15, I don't think we're going to be able to do that this turn. Right? Like this is 1 credit, this is free, then this is 3, 6. So we need 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 credits. We need 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if we draw the stim hack, we win the game. No. Wow, we're gonna really go poor here. So interacting is gonna be difficult, but yeah, our deck just doesn't have money. Didn't you see stim hack on the slot machine? Wait, fuck, did we? Ah, we did! No! Oh, no! I didn't pay attention. We could have done draw, win. Oh, such a bummer. Oh, Jesus. Whatever. We just stim hack this, right? Because I think we're poor. Yeah, I'm stim hacking this. Rah, we probably don't need the stim hack because we have 4 credits on multi-threader, but we need this more likely for the Bologna. They should know. Yeah, they should. I don't know if they're fucking with. This is an NGO front? I think we trashed an NGO front. That's a waiver? That's fine. Unfortunately, Paperclip, like it's once we get up, imagine we had like this sort of bravado economy. Like we're getting through shit for free. Like that's good. And here we should have pulled a Cubon at. Yeah. Okay, good game. Yeah, I don't think they paid attention to their stim hack just like we did. Thanks for the game. We didn't see their deck do anything spicy. Like they played a blank identity. Admittedly, they had 17 influence, which is something that I don't think I realized until now. Well played. I don't think so. Kept trying to set up for complete image. Ah, makes sense. Man, we've seen complete image in so many other factions. As long as we don't take a tag or set up with the slot machine, it's pretty difficult. Hey, cheers, you too. Like we've seen complete image in Kronos, or sorry, whatever the one is with -1 hand size. We've seen complete image now in Harsashandra, and I think all of them are worse than the Jinteki one, but at least you suspected less. Yes, called it. Yeah, well done, Sean. Paperclip Pelongi seems nutty. And I'm worried if we play this in Anarch, we're going to end up using all our influence on like Pelongi and Cordyceps. And this is not a matchup where Cordyceps was that good, but admittedly, it's very dependent on their ice. And we didn't get value from that. I wonder why they're on re-education though. And the bottom of our deck, we still have like a fair bit of money. Like a symmetrical early would have been good. A modded is huge. A gamble's huge. 2 laundries. Like our money wasn't amazing. We'll try one more, but like I really think we're wasting our time trying one more with this. We'll give it a shot. Man, I just wish we can get more aggressive money in there. And we actually did have the MU in that matchup to get down Rizekis and hold on to them. And maybe we can play Rizeki and just simul-chip it aggressively at some point to be like, fuck it, we've got enough. Yo, what up, Brick? PE. Uh-oh. So against PE, damage protection is important. We don't have any of it. R&D interface is like way worse than even Turning Wheel, but let alone Stargate would be the nuts. Moving around their ice can be relevant, but I imagine all their ice is equally bullshit for us to deal with. Like they're going to have Engram Flushes, Kakugos, all that is really rough. I don't think anything our deck does scales particularly well against it. This is also the sort of matchup where Peace is a bit dodgy because a lot of times PE doesn't have a lot of money. Huh. Yeah, it's a hand. Sprite build this deck from one of your streams. Uh-oh. Alright, so they're definitely going to try and kill us in some inventive way. Okay, so R&D, either a Hokusai, a Mwanza, a lot of things that we could be scared about. And did they mulligan? They kept. Okay. All right, well, we want to set up, but we don't want to set up too hard. Like, we don't want to overinstall cards that we don't need. So, like, the Dirty Laundry is probably not as much money. It's just only 3 credits in Axis. Well, this is 5 credits. We're going to throw away our Haley ability, but this seems like a better value. And we might not even play Dirty Laundry this turn. Just don't die to F8 Philotic. I think we're going to die to F8 Sting, because that's usually what happens. Draw, Hedge Fund. Okay, so Pelongi can get us pretty far. I feel like we could consider piecing now, but like 9 credits still isn't a lot. On average, they spend like 2 to 3 credits resting their ice. So I don't know if we loot. Yeah, I don't know. Stimac is probably unplayable. Probably, and we're not seeing another Haley install. And if we don't find a Haley install, we're gonna be in a bad spot. Installing Pelongi into Cordyceps for like a no value purge is really rough. So this is not good. This is really bad. I think we do simul-chip Dirty Laundry Archives. Yeah, so far Haley's been really bad. I don't think we've got enough Haley triggers at all to be worth it. When like we could be, I don't know, lat. Technically we played lat before and we got like 2 or 3 card draw, but then eventually we stim hack our size out of it. Yo, Zach, what's up? Would we have wanted Laundry there so there wasn't the conflict between Laundry Peace? They have a lot of upgrades. What do you mean exactly? Also, how's it going? It's been a bit. Okay, so I'm worried that this is the one that prevents net damage by doing net damage. We really want to find an SMC because the SMC Pelongi we're good to go instead of casts. Oh, I see what you mean. I think in this matchup we're just never going to play Peace. But the idea that Zach is saying is that if we wanted to play Dirty Laundry that turn, it's in a later turn that because Peace means you can't run. I think we just probably end up throwing this card, or more accurately losing it to damage, because their economy doesn't seem amazing. Unless they're on Mwanza, and then we're fucked. Okay. Oh, wow. This is surprisingly bad. I don't want to face check there. I guess the worst case is a Cortex Lock, which isn't that bad. And yeah, we would have run that if we could. It's a Sting, so we're going to lose Stim Hack and Cordyceps. That's fine. We have Simul-chip usually. And they're on 6 credits, so we just don't want to hit a Mwanza. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah, paperclip's good. We actually click for a credit to throw that in the bin. So that I guess you can't do Plongi paperclip. So I think actually installing it is probably better. I don't know if we need to mod it out. We'll just install it. We probably didn't have to do that turn. Like we could have done Plongi paperclip for the same click, which is surprisingly good. And this is Sting, a card that I'll never play around properly. And I'm pretty sure that they'd be on Obokata. So like we need to make sure that we have enough cards. We only have 36 left. And if we don't run, we risk shipment from Tenon. This is so rough. I think we'll just install Plongi, go for a run. No, that's really bad. Why would we need to do that? We'll run HQ. It's not. This doesn't seem smart. Getting so much Haley value. Yeah, it's absurd. Just Haley just popping off here. The issue is also like you don't want to install everything in this sort of matchup. So this is good. They can always purge. I don't know what this is. If it's a Mwanza, we might lose. I'm hoping it's a Hokusai. Even a Warroid it could be. Or it actually could be the Wayland one, right? Can we try it on Max when we try an Anarch version? Yeah, it's a Mwanza. So in theory, they have to wait for us to accept the run. So we could die here. So this means that we're going to access 4 cards, and they're going to gain 10 credits. If we trash, it's a 15 credit swing, so we can't really afford that. A Preemptive, a Kakugo, a Fetal, I guess we'll steal it. And we can die to Snare here, so we probably should have considered that. And a Mwanza, I guess we have to trash that. So now we're weak to so much stuff. Mwanza is such an insane card. It only works in very narrow decks, but now we're weak to like double punitive. I don't know. What are the other breakers again? We have Nanotech and Gordium. Can we try it on Max? I don't think so. I think Max is a bit difficult. Like I'd rather play someone that just has good value. And the thing is like with Max, playing Max to get card draw, it just doesn't make that much more sense when Hoshiko exists modernly. That's the way I see it, right? Like Hoshiko's Link in card draw. All right, so they have 17 credits. So now the piece seems playable, but then we're not running. We lost modded in R&D interface. And there's another Mwanza here, and this could be game winning or losing. Ugh. How many Knob Kari? We're on 2 in this deck. Like, that's the cool thing is with Paperclip Plongi, you can contest this remote. You just have to simul-chip the Plongi. So if we piece, we can't do that. I guess we'll just draw ones. Value? This card is 2 cards a turn. It's better than Rizeki if you're running. This is so bad. This is so sloppy. Feeling Max plus Buffer Drive is more tempo than Shiko. No, what's up? How's it going? I don't know about that. That's a huge res. Luckily we break this for fucking 4 credits. It's so good. We make it a barrier. Like this combo is so absurd. Max and Buffer Drive. I think Buffer Drive is really bad tempo in Max. I don't understand it. Like you just mill 1 card fewer a turn, 4 paying 3 credits and an influence. Like that isn't particularly good. So they could res this. It's Komeino. So if we don't want to lose all our hand, which we probably have to respect, we're just going to simul-chip the Plongi back. Sting. Oh, wow. I didn't even do the math on that. How much damage does this do? I've had a lot of success with the APOC builds. Oh, we're playing APOC. Yeah, that makes more sense because you just want to get that as soon as possible. But I don't really play a lot of APOC. All right, so we're dead to complete image sometimes. Luckily, they're on 4 credits. We'll be on 5. All right, never mind. They're on 9. So hedge, Beth. Now Beth can be an issue in this matchup. It does help us draw, but it also can lose us the game. But things are doing pretty good. We gotta assume that's a Mwanza, so HQ pressure is better than anything else. But the biggest issue is if they fast advance this card, how much damage happens? So when a player scores a steal this agenda, do X net damage. X is equal to number of copies in Sting and other players. So if they fast advance a Sting, if I'm not mistaken, it does 3 damage out of nowhere. If they either biotic it, if they audacity it, or more likely shipment from Tenon. So we do have to keep that in mind, and it's very hard to respect that while also running their remote. Oh, this can be good. Yeah, I guess we'll diesel into install Beth likely. Oh, I clicked that, did not go off. Okay, cool. And then we can just probably install Beth. Now we have no money. Yeah, we have 3 credits. We're just clicking for credits. Oh, they installed in the remote. Okay, so what could it be? If it's Flotic, whatever. Rashida, whatever. Oh, this is good. That's good. We got so much Haley Valley. This is nutty. And this one, you don't actually have to click on it. You just get the credit. And we have a piece next turn, which is definitely playable considering how things are going. Unfortunately, we're not running to get value. We could consider running Archives and risking the Breach Dome, but we're not going to run probably next turn. So let's see what they score out. It also could just be a Hokusai setup. Oh, it looks like they're scoring out. It's the last sting. Fantastic. So I honestly don't know whether scoring that there is amazing. Like, it doesn't help them win. Maybe they're just trying to grind us out. And it did hit our piece, which is meaningful. But like, that is such a better surprise than just scoring us for a 1-pointer. So yeah, I don't know. And it's also really safe. Like, it would have done a lot of damage if we stole it. I think you can just double advance that and wait. All right, so this is where Team Net Chip is going to fall apart if we draw a Net Chip. Stimhack is a bit hard to play. We do have a modded, and I think at this point, like, we just run HQ next turn. Probably get you lower for Oboe. Yeah, maybe. Like, it definitely does that. I just think the threat of the kill seems a bit more strong. And they're preemptiving, so only 3 cards in hand. And we saw, actually, we know the cards in hand if we paid attention. It was a Kakugo. Oh, it's not going to say it in the log. What did we see in the hand? It was like Kakugo, preemptive, Fetal, and then another card. I think a Komainu, maybe? Right, they get the same value whether they pay to score or let you steal it. Yeah, totally. Like, even if we stole it, it's fine. I just think the fact that this can be 3 damage out of nowhere, it's like, it's better than Ronin, and that's huge. Like, they can just install Advanced Fence in the remote and leave it as an NGO front and wait for us to fuck up on Centrals. And we just can't run R&D. If we run R&D, like, if they're playing Wanza, they're definitely playing Punitive. And we don't have Film Critic. Like, if you play Film Critic, oh my god. I guess they have a way to deal with it. They must. Alright, we'll just run HQ. The bad hit here is Snare. We'll steal an Obakad if we can. We also could consider, like, Q-bonding on that, I guess. It's an Archive Memories. Okay, that's obviously scary. We'll go once again. HO, House of Knights in the remote? Yeah, it could be. It's just hard for us to contest that remote. We need a Nanotech, and there's a Kakugo, so we know 2 cards in hand. Nanotech is still in the deck. We can't SMC without destroying something, which is a bit of a bummer. Running a lot of multi-threaders Pelongi are both being aggressive. This is worth considering the study guide. Yeah, actually, that's huge. I think that was a consideration when we were building the deck on Thursday, is that we have multi-threaders. Once we get study guide, it's like the Amakua that we want. I think that's really, really important, Epstein. I think that's a really strong idea. Okay, Team Netchip is now worse than Akamatsu for the first time in a long time. We're not going to mod this out. We'll play it. We need it. So this is the problem where if this is an Akamatsu, we get installed in SMC. But it is turn 16 and we have 2 SMCs in hands, which is not the most likely. All right, they have 13. Haha, value. 2 MU fringe case. Yeah, there are some cases where it seems rough. I don't even know if installing this is worth it, right? I guess we'll modded it. That's hit points. That probably wasn't worth it. But now I get through Anansi for free, right? Occurs more often than you think. Yeah, it depends on the deck. Like, this is the only 2 MU card we have, and normally these get popped a bit sooner. We just haven't been aggressive with them because we aren't setting up aggressively because of the matchup. Now they're considering it. And again, we don't have a Knob Curie. And Knob Curie makes Cortex Lock a bit scary. It's a Kakugo, nothing gleaned. Oh, hey, there it is. So that's the card that you want to mod it out. Hopefully we don't lose that to damage off of the House of Knives in server 1. Or Philotic, maybe. Maybe it's a Philotic and they're just holding it. Also could easily be a Snare. Oh, okay. So it looks like it's either a Prisek or a Hokusai or even a Ben Musashi. So this is now a more impactful run because it actually builds Pelongi tokens. But they're just not resing anything. So we know Archive, we know Kakugo. It's a Punitive, no surprise there. So the fact that we don't have money is going to be the biggest issue in this matchup. That we literally don't have money. And we've played 2 of our pieces, and by played I mean threw them out. I don't know. I feel like we don't have options here. Like, if we run R&D, they do Wanza, and there's no counterplay to Wanza besides hoping they fuck up around a counter surveillance, or sorry, Councilman, or Interdiction, which they're not going to. And as soon as this fires, like they gain 10 credits, and so the punitive is definitely going to land. So I think we have to camp the remote if anything. This is not good. Oh, maybe they'll mill out if they keep drawing. They also have a single punitive and a single archive, so we do have to respect, like, if we steal an Obokata, we are going to die. Like, we just don't have enough money, and they can do punitive, archive, punitive. So I don't think there's much we can do besides stealing the Fetals, and even then there's a small chance that we die to punitive, punitive, punitive. Seems really small. Yeah, Study Guide would be so good, especially because we're on Palangi. How many net chips? Just the one. Just the one. We were playing this over Akamatsu, and playing 2 net chips makes it way better than a single net chip. Nanotech actually is pretty reasonable against this remote now because they are stacking. I don't want to play any of these cards. Click for credits? Yeah, I think we do just click for credits. It's so rough. 2 R&D interfaces is already scary with Mwanza, so we don't need R&D interfaces. You have SMC MU now. Yeah, you're right. We do. We do have SMC MU now. Not. Okay, so do you know what this is? This is Hokusai. This is the Wayland card that says trash 2 cards off the top of your deck if you break all the subroutines, and then either a Prisec or the other thing. So we can't run this remote anymore. They drew installed, so we can maybe run HQ. Imagine we had Study Guide, how good we'd be with Study Guide, Palangi, and Opkuri. It would be really, really strong. Yo, DJ, what's up? Evening. I still don't think we can interact with this. Can you even install Mwanza on a... No, it's only on R&D or HQ. It makes sense. We'll just keep going for singles, but like, we have to run R&D, so we basically just have to get our money up, so we're just going to be clicking for credits. But again, they'll get 10 credits off of that hit, and then they still have punitive and archive punitive, so even if we steal an Obokata, we have to basically win off of R&D, which is not unlikely if we steal one Obokata. It's a Komainu? Okay, so we'll just click for 3 here. Hokusai Prisec, I think? It could be. I bet it's Helheim in the remote. Oh, that's interesting too. I'm pretty sure it's a Wayland. Oh, it's a Lacosta. Okay. So it can't be a Hokusai, so it could be Helheim. It could be ganked. It actually probably is ganked if they said that this is something they got off our stream. So it probably is ganked Komainu Helheim to make the big Komainu. And I guess there's a chance that this is ganked as well. If they score an Obokata, fine. Ice on HQ, so that's a Komainu or Kakugo. Nothing really to mod it here. Oh, I guess we can mod it out of Gordo. We haven't seen the code get yet. I think we're just gonna install SMC, click for 3. And then once they score this, Scordian Obokata, I'm assuming, maybe it's a Hokusai, which would be bad. Then we'll just run R&D, because hopefully we'll have more money than them. I really doubt it, but they do have to res ice. Oh, it's a Fetal. That's fine. We lost our Gordian Blade. That's actually can be a problem. And they also could have a Cyberdex Virus Suite in there, which would be catastrophic. But you know what? I'm just fed up. Probably all we need to do is click for credits, but we're just going to run R&D and hopefully not die to punitive. Hopefully we win when we access like 6 cards or whatever it is, 4 cards. And we're not going to trash the Hokusai, or sorry, the, what's it called? The Mwanza, because it's basically like an R&D interface, and there's no way for them to trash it. Well, it's very hard. Because even 7MU is JNet not handling it correctly, otherwise data folding seems like it would be good. 7MU actually would work with data folding, but this is only because we have Knob Curie. So it is correct, it's just we can only use the MU on certain things. The classic Jinteki Tilt win? Yeah, at some point you just click for credits, you're like, well, I guess we have to try now. Because they're on game point. And technically, probably not this turn, because if it's Lacosta into a 5-3, they have to pre-advance it once, unless they have some tricks, which they could. So it looks like they're not going to res, because I imagine, oh, it's a DNA tracker. That seems like a terrible res. That's a terrible res, no? We break this for free. Or for 1 credit, excuse me. And they res for 8, which if they're trying to punitive this turn, like that seems terrible, unless there's a Cyberdex Virus Suite. And even if there was, we could SMC for another Palangi. Jack and KHR, what is that? Jack out? No, we're good. So one thing about this deck, there's a card that needs to be revealed when accessed from R&D, but the JNet automatically doesn't do that automatically. I think it's ganked. So it's a Mwanza. Okay, so we'll get a virus counter. Card from deck. IPO, fine. DNA, fine. Snare. Okay, so this is scary. because they can't afford a second snare. Oh, they can't even afford a single snare. Oh, that's huge. NGO. And Mwanza. We won't trash Mwanza. Will we trash Mwanza? That's fascinating. Will we trash Mwanza? No, we need Mwanza to win. We have no multi-access. Great. They gain all the money. So we're just going to click 3. And this is where, like, in theory, you cordyceps the DNA onto R&D, but, like, our breakers are so good right now. You're broke, you can now hit the remote. Oh, if we jacked out there? Oh, you're right, we could. We could have actually considered the remote. Ganked is only an issue. Yeah, maybe actually that was right, David. Maybe we fucked it up. Maybe we just want to jack out, run the remote, because they were assuming that we would get the money from Mwanza. And we obviously knew this was a Mwanza. That's interesting. We would just have to pull out our nanotech for a Nancy. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we should have just jacked out, run the remote. All right, IPO. Okay, so now we have to really try and win off centrals. And they put another ice there, which in theory plays around Pelongi, but we can also SMC a second Pelongi and let alone the nanotech or whatever we need. Beth also gives us 5 clicks. And now they're gonna win on this remote. Yeah, they're broke. Yeah, we should have definitely not given them the money there. Yeah, I think we threw that. That was very meaningful because there's an Obokata in here and they would have no money, so we could steal it without getting the punitive. Now we have to run this. We have to do punitive, archive, punitive. We have to worry about a Nazi, Kamainu ganked. Like, there's no way we win unless we run into this Mwanza. Or they spend a lot of money doing it again. Like, there is a second DNA tracker, which would be fine. But in theory, you see how good this is. Long-time viewer. Yeah, I know. Also, if they got poor, we could have, in theory, just put like the Cuban on this and then ran HQ and like Magnum Opused up, which is interesting. Oh, no, that's not right. Yeah, that's a meaningful fuck up. If we ran the remote, we probably would have been okay. Classic Jaina tilt win is cracked. All right. In theory, we might actually want a Diesel here before we run, just so we have no more cards to work with. But it does make the Kumainu rerun a bit more awkward. Also, this is unfortunate. If this is Obokata into ganked, you just hit the Obokata first, right? And once you hit the Obokata first, then you hit the ganked, and then the Kumainu will have fewer subs. So it's interesting. So we're going to encounter this. We'll gain, make it a barrier, break it for 4. So now they're an 8. So this is a bit more manageable. I hope they res here. Oh, they do. Oh, they do res here. Fascinating. Okay, so now this is something we actually have to deal with, which we have to deal with this anyways. So we'll bring out our nanotech, which breaks us for 5. Yeah, fuck it. Wait, do we have them U? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we do. Interesting. Guardian would be good now. Yeah, it's not bad. It's only in our heap though, so we can't get it. I'm waiting on a Haley prompt. Yeah, I'm thinking. Because we can install this for free, which gets cards out of our hand, which is really good. I think we just put it on this remote. Oh, wait. And now we can run this remote. And we only need 4 for Obokata. In theory, we need 5 if it's Obokata into Hokusai. So we'll draw once with symmetrical. That's fine. We could Diesel, but then it makes the Kamainu so much harder. Cordyceps HQ? Oh, that's fascinating. Unfortunately, we just can't get it. So we got to think here. This is 4, so it's still expensive. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we can't break all of this. Stealing Gobo on 4 kills you? Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, right, PE. Huh. Uh-oh. Yeah, we can't afford this. We have to, we definitely fucked up. We needed to, well, there's not really a good Cordyceps here. Oh, no, there is. There is a good Cordyceps here. Keep Cuboning? Yeah, we could keep Cuboning, but I think we still lose to a single punitive if we keep Cuboning. Could have saved money on the Kamainu by installing it before encountering it, then passing with Cubon. Oh yeah, we should have. We spent 1 too many. Spent 1 too many doing Haley after. That's a good point. Jack up farm cash? Yeah, we could, but they're gonna win anyways. Like they do advanced score. Fish Opus. It's good. It's good. I think like we like what's the best play that we have here is like install SMC trashing some cards. Then we have to run HQ, so then we don't have enough clicks. So I think we just have to run it again and hope that we don't die. But I'm pretty sure we die. Oh man, we just need one more strength on the nanotech. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's still 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have to do this twice, or we have to do Kumainu twice. We could stim hack it, but then we die. We will die. So I don't think we have anything here. Unless we can get another Plongi out. Another Plongi out would save a lot of money. This is only for the encounter, not for the turn, thinking. But no matter what, it only saves money on the Nancy. Draw then stim hack. If we draw then stim hack, we can't steal Obakata, because we'll die anyways. Diesel stim hack. Ah, now you're playing with fire. Ah, yeah. But Diesel makes the Kumainu a lot worse. I don't think we want to do that. Diesel stim hack last click, it makes this, like, in theory we're going to be ganked into the Kumainu over and over again, which will kill us. So we need to be able to deal with this Kumainu. We have to be able to deal with these 3 times, maybe even double ganked. Like, I don't think we can win. You don't need to steal, you just need to trash Lacosta. Oh, that's a good point. That is true. Just trash Lacosta and hope you don't die to the upgrade nonsense. I think we will die to the upgrade nonsense. That's a problem. Like, if that's double, let's imagine worst case is double ganked. We hit the Kumainu, it'll have 5 subroutines, then 10 subroutines, then 15 subroutines. There's no way we can win. Unless we had, like, you know, one of those ones that breaks all subroutines for 0. So we can't deal with this. I don't think there's a way for us to win off the remote. I think we just have to, like, run archives. Or technically this is better. It also could just be an NGO friend. Like, it doesn't have to be the game, but I think if we run this, we die to a single ganked, right? Like, this will be a 10 subroutine ice, which we have no chance of dealing with. So I don't think we can go for it. We can't get Gordian Blade unless we, like, diesel into a simul chip, which is really difficult. Do you know the top of R&D? I think we might know 1 card. But we would have seen a lot more. We would have seen 4 cards. So it's possible to win off of R&D if we can just break it, which I don't think we can do. And if we thought this out, we should have put that. Cordyceps away, the Kumainu seems rough. Anansi's tough, though. Yeah, Anansi's still just as problematic. Kumainu's a bit better if we steal Nobakata and have fewer cards in hand. Like, then we have to deal 5/5/5, but this is technically more. This is 6. Just run HQ. If they res, they lose the last 3 credits, can't run the remote. Yeah, Joe, then I don't think they'll res, if that's the case. And we saw a lot of the cards that they drew because we ran through Mwanza. I don't think they have it. I know they have an archived, a punitive, and one of the cards that we saw. So the chance of them having winning in HQ is pretty low. I think if anything, the best chance we have of winning is R&D. It's a really tricky situation. I know I can't run the remote, and I've fucked it up already with the nanotech. Oh, or technically not. Well, no. That was SMC. Maybe archives. Yeah, I think the best chance we have is starting run R&D archives. The issue is we need our Gordian for this remote. So we just need to figure out how many simul chips we have left in the deck. And I think we actually have a couple. So the issue is if we do diesel run, we can't get it down. Can we let these fire if we do diesel run? Yeah, there's a small chance that we do diesel. Wait, it's so unlikely. Run HQ Cordyceps, the innermost ice on server 1. Yeah, but then we can't get a Cordyceps. Like, we have no way of getting a Cordyceps down. Like, we have no Haley trigger, we have no SMC, we have no simul chip. Man, Imp. We probably want an Imp in an Obcuri deck. That's a good thing of doing this Anarch. I think he brought it down to 2 simul chip. Yeah, no, I think we might have. No, I think we went back up to 3 because we had Cubon. Yeah, we're on 3. We did for a second bring it down to 2. We can install the SMC, and then we can make 1 run. But again, the SMC gets us a Pelongi. So we could basically tank this DNA tracker. Ugh, I gotta do math. Can you break the Nazi 2x because of ganked? No, we can't. Let alone we can't break 15 Kumainu. Sorry, maths. I think we're taking way too long. But the idea is that if we run here, we could let this DNA tracker fire. We'd have to break the Komainu, which would be cheaper. And then we need enough with Gordian to break this so we don't die. They won't have snare money, so we can access pretty freely. And we just need to access a 1-pointer, which is going to be difficult. I think all the stings are out. And I think they're just on Obakatas and Fetals at this point. So it's 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and a Philotic. So if we hit the Philotic and an Obakata, we have a chance of winning. But we are going to take a lot of damage with the DNA trackers. So I don't think so. I think we might just be able to diesel run R&D and then just take all the damage. I think it's our best shot. Yeah, I think we just do diesel run here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, though, we will fuck. We can't Palangi. Ah, it's so bad. I think we have to run and then hope we hit exactly no, there's no combination of winning cards now that we've dieseled. Is ganked on Axis? Ganked is on Axis. It is. Stimag the remote, hope it's Vanity Project. We can just hope this is an NGO front. Like, we don't need a throw here if it is. I'm assuming it's an Obakata, though. So I guess we'll just Dirty Laundry Archives and throw out a card. Because we can't do this. We need to have access with 5 cards for Obakata. And, well, 4 in theory, but technically 5. Yeah, that's a good game. Yeah, we took way too long on that. Yeah, Obakata. Double ganked in there. So the big issue is that we don't have money and we don't have anything that, like in this matchup, we didn't do anything. Yeah, exactly. So it's double ganked. And so then we would have died for sure. So the big issue obviously is money was bad. If we can make them lose 1 credit, we would have been fine. Like they were only 1 credit over. So we could make them spend money, which is good. The whole big dragon eyes. And interestingly enough, if we jacked out on the DNA tracker, we ran this server that a couple turns ago, we still would have lost. 2 whole big dragon eyes. Let me swing a stream chat. Game. So yeah, I don't think we really had a chance. If you play Film Critic, like this matchup gets so much easier because then we can actually run R&D. Admittedly, we wouldn't be able to score out, but then we don't take a lot of damage. Do the math. You ran, get 2x credit, jack out. You run 2x credit, keep letting an Nancy Fire to shrink your hand. Yo, Brick, good game. So here's the math. Let's see. Let's see if we can do the math right. So, if I'm not mistaken, we had 11 credits and 2 clicks left. So, the thing is, David, the Komainu keeps its subroutines for the whole run, so it's a bit worse than it looks. So we had 11 credits. We could have clicked for 2 more, so we're at 13, and then we click 1 more, and we're on 15. So we're on 15 credits. This is our last access of the turn. You're right about the clear the Lacosta and don't steal. I think we'd have to do it. But to some extent, maybe stealing is better. Okay, so we're on 15. We're running the remote. It's our last click. We hit the Anansi. I reckon we want to break all of it. We don't have Plongi. We don't have Simul Chips. If we had Simul Chips, this would have been way easier. So we're on 15. We're running this remote. We break this for 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're now on 9. We hit the Komainu. We could let it flush our hand out, admittedly, which means it would have 5 subroutines. Don't break a Nancy. Okay, don't break a Nancy first time. Okay, so we don't break a Nancy first time. So then we lose, we take 4 damage, right? So we're on 1 card. So we hit the Komainu. Oh yeah, that actually might have worked. We hit the Komainu, we break it for 1, and then we get ganked into it. So it would have 3 subroutines, and we trash the Lacosta. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah. If we just let the Nancy fire, and then the Komainu would have 1 in hand, we could have trashed double ganked. What were we risking at the time? In theory, if it was like Hokusai to Prysec, we would have died, but we could have done it. David, it would work, but they just blanked you in a Nancy. You just don't listen. They would have ganked you into a Nancy? They could have ganked us into a Nancy twice, and then we would have had, we actually could have broken it if they ganked us into a Nancy twice. Wait, actually, maybe not. You can break a Nancy. I think you can break a Nancy. No, if we trash Lacosta, I don't think we can. No, I don't think it works out, because we had 14. Sorry, we had 14 once we go through Komainu. We've already used our multi-threaders. So they ganked us once into the Nancy. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. We do another time, that's 12, and then we can't trash Lacosta. So no, that doesn't actually work. Yeah, you can't double break and trash the Nancy is what Kyle's saying. And yeah, that's totally right. Yeah, so we were off. We weren't off by a lot, but we were off. If we stim hack there, we would have died. No. If we stim hacked, we would have been fine. But we had no cards in hand, and I guess we're weak to Neural. Yeah, so it's really difficult. Ganked Komainu, like, there's a couple ways around it. You need anything that breaks all subs for 0. There's not that many things that do that modernly. You could run, obviously, the thing that prevents on encounter helps you, at least it helps it be multiplicatively bad. But if they just have 1 fewer credit, we've been fine. But yeah, it's a hard remote to get through for sure. It's a hard remote. I think if we had study guide, we would have been in a good spot. We actually could have pressured HQ, but the problem is as soon as Mwanza fires, we have no chance of surviving archive punitive. And I think that's a film critic problem, let alone the economy of this deck problem. Game Command is a whole game plan. Yeah, it totally is. Yo, I'd also brick. I don't know if you, I guess you can't play it because you're playing, what's it called? You're playing both. Well, I guess Mwanza sort of matters, but you're also playing the other thing. Have you ever tried Mumba? Sunny's breaker would have been fine. Yeah, Sunny can do it. You don't have to break all the subs for 0, just all the subs for a constant amount. Yes, yeah, that's fine. I want to play this card in ganked decks. Like this with ganked Kamainu seems fucking nutty, right? It also plays around hunting grounds. So the idea is that they hit it. They I played this out of Mati for a bit. Yeah, that's actually kind of close to well, it's close to the Ag Infusion deck. In retrospect, would Diesel and Stimhack have been wrong? Yeah, Diesel and Stimhack would have been wrong because it would have made the Kamainu bad. Like, okay, so let's go back to it. Actually, we can. Oh no, we left. Okay, so if we Dieseled and then Stimhacked, we would have had 2 credits fewer. We would have had, well, technically we would have had 7 credits more. We would have had 5, Diesel is 7 minus, we had 6 cards in hand. So if we let the Nancy fire, we'd lose 4 cards. So the Kamainu would be 2. It's not much better. It would be better just to straight up. The thing is like dieseling so that you can get through Kamainu is seems a bit backwards. Spicy with Koma though. Yeah, this with Kamainu seems really good, right? This also in Ag Infusion just seems really good because then you can res 1 big ice, maybe position it with Thimble Rig, and then it'd be like, oh, Kamainu into Kamainu into Kamainu, and then at the end it has 15 subroutines. You gank them into it, and it's like 30 or whatever. This card seems really good. It's not terribly costed. Trash for 3, whatever. Res for 3 is a bit much, but normally it's like 2-4 or whatever. But that's not too bad at all whatsoever. All right, I guess we're playing this in Anarch. Then at least we'll have money. Need to keep on to Cordyceps HQ. Yeah, we didn't have access to Cordyceps that turn. If we had access to Cordyceps, I don't think it actually would have been good that game. Like, all their ice was taxing. That was one of the good things about Cordyceps is they did not res shitty ice. Admittedly, we could have put unresed ice on the remote, but we were in a situation where they could have ganked us into double Kamainu or ganked us in double Anansi, and we would have been fucked regardless. We're scared of a third Cordyceps that run. If we had another Palangi, we might have been okay. But even then, we still have to deal with like a big Kamainu. I don't think we can do it. We just don't have enough money. My throat's falling apart. Actually, you know what? I think that's actually gonna be it for today. We'll be back on Tuesday. We got a game night kit to play. I think my throat's falling apart a bit. It was bad yesterday, so I think I'm gonna rest it because I know you have to talk a lot on Tuesday, which is not gonna be good. That's all for today. We'll be back on Tuesday. We have a game night kit. It starts at 6:45 Eastern, 7 the game start, and we have play 3 rounds. It's open to anybody if you want to jump in. You just have to get into our Discord, and let me just produce a link for that really quickly. Corey, thanks for streaming. Of course, Corey. Thanks for dropping by. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. Let me just get a code to get access to that if you want to. I don't think they're permanent. Let me see. Edit invite link, Aspire, never. No limit, generate new link, copy. What is this called? Notepad.exe? Yeah, here we go. View, format, font size. Here, if you want to come join, we'll see you on Tuesday night. We rescheduled it from last week because last week JNet was down, so we're excited to do it. We had like 14, no, we had 15 players last week. So if you want to come in and play an organized play with a fair few nice, also really nice people, it's a nice place to join in. Open to anyone? Yeah, totally, Jason. There's no real prize support unless you're in Montreal because it's not going to be distributed. And the prize support is just like GNA K kits based off of like placement over a couple tournaments. So you're not missing out too much. Cool. We really got to figure out how to use Cordyceps and Anarch if it's good. It's just still 4 influence and really expensive at 3, which is a problem. But abstractly, it seems good. There must be something tricky to it. It's still really frustrating right now playing Shaper, because if you don't play Rozeki, you just don't have a lot of money. And I don't know what you do. Like, we're already spending a lot of influence splashing things, so it's not like we can splash in like Bravado, which I don't think answers our econ questions. I wonder if we play someone with Link and then just play Rogue Trading Citadel. That's actually probably not that bad in Haley, considering there are a lot of resources. That's interesting. What's the Discord for? Eric K, what is up? It's if you want to play this Tuesday at 6:45 Eastern. Starts at 7, registration 6:45. If you want to play at a GNK, we just play on genteki.net. We play 3 rounds. It's organized by Roberto. It's just good stuff if you're free at that time and you want to spend about 3 hours. It's a bit more than 3 hours. Thanks for stream. Probably won't be able to make this Tuesday. Best of luck. Shame, Andre. Well, another time then, eh? Anarch, I think you start with the Kamalo and swap consume out for it and then take it from there. Yeah, that's probably fair. I think that you might want to lean in a bit more on program destruction or things that can capitalize on manipulation. Like, I don't know if that deck runs Hippo, but I think you could. And maybe even consider Cutlery. Like, I think you actually can branch out a fair bit from there. Thanks a ton as always. Hey, Joe, my pleasure. Thanks for dropping by. That's all for now. I'm going to do the rest of the weekend, I guess, and then we'll be back on Tuesday. I'm new to this game, and I'm really happy to find an active good content creator for it. Oh, cheers. Yo, welcome. Welcome to Netrunner. You picked a really good game. Well played. If you got any questions, unfortunately, I'm signing out now, but we'll be back streaming on Thursday at our standard time. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask at any point if you're new to things. Gotta go build a fence. Yo, good luck with that fence. Later. Yo, cheers, Pink. Thanks to everyone we played games with, everybody in chat. Everybody watching the VOD also. Hopefully you're doing well indoors. Stay safe, stay healthy, all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna go get some tea and figure out what to play on Tuesday.